her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. You're checking 12, we'll check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2 1 star, take your shots.
Office still stands for time? No. Offender in custody?
All right. What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Turn that down. What's up? Hello, everybody. Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate you. We're going to be having some other guests coming up here a little later. They weren't able to make it this early. But I want to say thank you all. Thank you guys for hopping up here tonight. We're going to have a kind of a special episode, special series where we're exploring the case. Kind of like what I said earlier. We're going to be going through the introduction, and we're going to kind of be explaining things, and hopefully have a new approach to some of these things as we discuss them. I'm very happy to have Narked as well, because you have the experience and also diving in search and recovery, and with where the evidence was, the situation. I think when it comes to your expertise, you can bring a lot of knowledge to some of the things that we're discussing, especially where she was found and the circumstances involved. Excuse me. But I want to give some contribution call-outs real quick before we get started. This will be an introduction. Ashley, Jeanette, I think we got you earlier, but I wanted to say contribution call-out. Anyway, I think because this was already up, it went to both of them, but I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 shout-outs. Thank you. Glenda, thank you for becoming a member as well. Nicole and Sharon, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I dropped the links to our guests in the chat. Also, you can go to the description, and they will be in the description right under the title. What's up, buddy? Hello?
Or did somebody say something?
Yeah, I think Busby was
saying something.
Yeah. You there, buddy?
Maybe he's having some trouble.
Yeah, I might be having some tech issues. You there, buddy?
Trying to stay connected.
Yeah, he's having some issues.
Is he? Can you hear us, bro? Let me see. Just try and hop out and come back in. It'll be the same link, man. See if that helps. I don't know if he can hear us or not. Can you hear us, Busby? don't think he can hear us.
Let me just type it to him.
Yeah, I'm typing in the back chat right now.
Oh, okay. Maybe he'll see it probably.
See if maybe he'll see it. I don't know if he'll see it. It says he's on mute. I don't know.
Oh. He probably don't even know he's on mute if he's having issues.
Yep, there he is. Okay. I think he saw. I just told him to hop out and come back in, and usually
Yeah.
or reboot. Those are the two things. If I'm ever having issues, I either hop out, hop back in, or reboot. Other than that, I don't know. You know, electronics, right?
Mm-mm.
Right when you're getting ready. How many times in the last week and a half did I get ready to go live, and then all of a sudden, internet went out, power went out.
Right in the middle, actually.
Right.
It's pretty scary.
It is technology. All right, so we're going to be doing an introduction to the case, but there's a couple things I want to share with you guys real quick. And speaking of hidden true crime, we're going to use one of their episodes to. They did a really good job on discussing the timeline and the facts and the evidence. You know, just kind of putting it all in an hour. A great episode. But speaking of, I thought this was pretty interesting when it comes to, you all know, like it used to be Solid Rock Church on YouTube. Now it is called Word Music and Word or something like that. Which they changed the name on YouTube, which is really odd. But shout out to Hidden True Crime. They made a post a little bit ago, and it says, plot twist, J.P. Miller has taken the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints LDS logo from the LDS Church's well-known music and the spoken word to use on his revamped channel after changing the name of his church from Solid Rock to the new Music and Word.
Wow.
No way.
Isn't that crazy?
Music
So-
to spoken word.
Right, so here's this, and then look right here, music in the spoken word. This is the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Just as an example to show you guys how it was copied.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's no question to that. It's 100% where he got the idea from.
The Tabernacle Choir is dedicated to the universal language of music that has the power to bring joy. So he basically, so whose bright idea was this? Was it
Were they hacked?
Trisha? Like, what's going on? Whose great idea was this?
So I thought LDS was Mormon.
Yeah, Church of Latter-day Saints. But they're non-denominational. So they adopt all different religions and they just kind of morph it into one.
Wow.
Ain't that crazy though? Like, just changed it word in it, because I remember coming across it a few days ago. Because I saved we're gonna go into let's see, I came across, it was like a week ago, I was doing some prep and I got on their website and we're gonna do a couple episodes on some of the sermons. But when I was saving this particular sermon for part of this prep, I looked at it and I was like, whoa, what channel's this? Like, what channel is this? And I didn't, I'm just rushing through my prep, so I didn't even take the time to look. But I was like, when we came across this a couple days ago, I was like, oh, that's this. Oh, Solid Rock changed it now. Oh, okay, I see where that's coming. Because before I was like, music is a spoken word. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy how. So what is authentic? What is authentic?
Before the internet.
I'm in shock.
It It's
It
like,
just kind of fits this case already. Everything else has been crazy.
you know what I
right?
mean? Like all the checker matches, because that's obviously a checker move. Like you don't even at least come up with like, hey, get Canva, JP. You can come up with your own logo. It'll look unique. You know, I mean, I'm sure how many people have music in the spoken word. You know what I mean. There's probably a lot of them out there, right? It's not just for that. So you change the logo up, and it takes you 5 minutes and you don't look like you're copying. Instead, you just straight up copy. Straight up copy it. Here you go, people. I wonder who got paid for that logo design.
Oh, the logo. I wonder if that's why they did it. Because of all the things that were said about the logo.
Oh, their logo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, their logo's creepy as hell.
Yeah. Now, in the description of this channel, it says this channel is to hear the word from John Paul Miller and to hear music by his wife, Mica.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things he ain't. Even the church website wasn't even updated. He has Mica, or maybe he changed it now, but according to the church website just a few weeks ago, it still had Mica as his wife on there.
I'm looking.
Yeah, for the it was like maybe the pastor's bio or something like that, or it had something to do with like promoting the church and the services, and yeah, it still had like Mike as his wife on there, and yeah.
No, that's gone.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we went through it on an older episode, so it's on tape.
Somebody was busy.
Oh, I'm sure. They probably did a lot of updating in the last week and a half.
Sounds like somebody's been dropping the ball to me.
What do you mean?
Not updating stuff whenever they should be. Not keeping on top of it.
Oh yeah, they
that would drive me crazy.
The only thing that they did is they've shut it down a couple times. Now they've obviously updated it. But before it was up, said the stuff, they took it down for a little while. Then it came back up, still wasn't updated, still said Mica, was his wife and what they do for the church and all that other stuff. And then, but now they've been creating new YouTube channels and posting videos and having secret reporters coming out there and all sorts of stuff. So
good Lord.
They're probably covering their tracks now. Contribution call out real quick. Bertha Beal, thank you so much for becoming a member. And also Ruck Don, thank you so much for gifting a membership. My YouTube chat is froze, so I'm going to have to back out, close out, and come back in and then announce that one. So I want to say thank you for that as well. So I wanted to, let me see here. I do have the PDF, so I'm going to drop it in private chat for you guys. If you want to have it, those who are available, if you want to have it pulled up, you're more than welcome. That'll give you the alibis, the photos, the reports, the timelines, all of the stuff when it comes to this case. If you need to refer back to it, I'll drop it here in chat for you guys as well. If you don't have it, there's the link for that as well. So there's going to be like a 6-minute video that's going to be the timeline of events leading up to her passing. And then I wanted to play this video from Dr. Todd Grandy when it comes to talking about the troubling behavior. And then we're going to check out a episode from Hidden True Crime, the full story and crash course. I think she did an amazing job. I love the couple. I love their channel, and I love their insight into all the cases they discussed. And I think she did an amazing job putting it all together in an hour video. So let me see here. I'm going to play this timeline real quick. And I will drop everybody's links in chat again as well. First, let me share these real quick. I'll share these QR codes here for a second before we get going. So, is there any questions that you might have, Narked, when it comes to... I know you kind of did some looking.
I did some vague looking on purpose because
Yeah.
I don't want to have a bias coming into this. I stayed away
Right.
from this case on purpose because to begin with, just because like if I go looking down every case I come across, it'll you know what I mean. Just as far as your like mental health.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's kind of overwhelming. So I don't really start looking into a case unless I plan on taking it on. Now anyway, lost my train of thought, but yeah,
you're good.
stumbling through my words. No, I was trying to say. So looking at this just vaguely, I got Lumber River, and I have a lot of questions as far as where everything was found, timeline, some of the 911 audio. I found anyway, we'll get into that. I'll let you kind of lead it.
Yeah, the 911.
Yeah, because I got...
Wait, well, let me just... We don't have to go, like, deep into it yet, but we will.
Okay.
But when it comes to the night... You heard the 911 call, right?
There's, like, two, and then...
Okay.
Anyway, we'll get to that whenever you bring it up, because I've got a whole thing.
Oh, you got a whole bunch on it. Because...
Yeah, in the back of my head, I'm like, it's not... We'll get to that, but...
Let me... Is it because of birds?
No, it's more to do with the recordings themselves. So, like, I know that without going down that path, but as far as the audio channels themselves, the recordings, I'll just kind of leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The source.
Yeah.
Source, you mean.
The source of the recordings, like, yeah, we'll get into that.
We'll
go down an hour-long rabbit hole.
All right. I got you. No, hey, trust me. Trust me, I get you. All right, let's see here. We'll get into this real quick. Here is the timeline video here.
Sunday, October 8, 2023. Mica Miller and her husband, John Paul Miller, a pastor from Solid Rock Church, filed for divorce. They were married back in 2017. Mica's friend said she had led the women's ministry and worship team at the same church. Thursday, February 8, 2024. Mica was involuntarily hospitalized for 48 hours. Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Mica calls police.
Remember, involuntary.
Alleges her ex-husband stole her car while she was hospitalized. She tells the officer she has known her husband since she was 10 years old and that he, quote, groomed her, end quote, while she worked for him at Solid Rock Church until they were wed in 2017.
Trey, she was a babysitter for the family first.
I seen that part,
married.
and I'm just like... So he groomed her from a very young age,
Yes,
was in
sir.
her life, was in probably, anyway, a behind-the-door setting. So there's no telling what else happened as far as, like, just having that over somebody. And then they got married.
Yes.
That's right.
Yep. And she was married to somebody else.
Yeah. And he was their,
Yeah.
he married them.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
So,
That is correct.
John Paul tells the cops his wife suffers from, quote, episodes, end quote. Since the car's marital property, no charges were filed. Monday, March 11, 2024. 2 incidents are filed with authorities naming Mica as a victim. She calls the police after finding her tire slashed with a piece of metal. It was later identified as a tire deflation device available for purchase online. Mechanics then find a GPS device attached to her car. Wednesday, March 13, 2024. Someone at Solid Rock Church files a police report alleging Mica transferred donation funds from the church's Zelle and Cash App accounts to her personal account. Mica leaves her apartment in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, shortly after noon and heads to a pawn shop to buy a gun. 12:34 p.m. Mica leaves the pawn shop and travels on a highway, stopping at a gas station to buy gas and a drink. She heads toward North Carolina. 2:54 p.m. After about an hour and a half, Mica calls 911 from a park over the state line about 33 miles away from the gas station and says she plans to end her own life.
Tell me what's happened. I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
3:03 p.m. Deputies with the sheriff's office head to Lumber River State Park, contact the park rangers, and begin a search within 30 minutes. Specialized units searching for Mica from the air are deployed. 3:50 p.m. Detectives are approached by someone fishing in the area who says they heard crying followed by a gunshot. They also found a bag a few feet from the water's edge with Mica's ID inside of it.
And I'm going to pause it real quick there. Trey,
What's up, man?
have you heard, as you're looking into it vaguely, did you come across any of the fishermen's statements and timeline and activity?
So I heard him on a couple different news outlets. I'd have to write down the exact timeline and then put together the timeline of the police response, 911 call, and audio and all that. But
it's sketch.
I've been a million questions, but the PDF you sent us, so the actual location. Let's see.
Here, I'll go ahead and bring that up so people can see it too. What page do you want?
It's
are you discussing?
Page 3.
All right, page 3. All right, right here.
Yeah, so the icon is where the belongings were found, or her?
That's where she was found. Now, the belongings, the pistol, and the casings were in different locations, considerable distances, if somebody had just unalived themselves in that location.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the water back here, okay? Now, I've been there. I've been there on location. The water in this area right here does have a current, and I can show you some location footage.
Okay.
Showing you the deck and everything. I can also show you location footage of the water that exists because, see, as you're going back, there's water that exists back there, but it's from the river. Okay.
Right. Flows through.
But that water doesn't move. It sits there.
It's like a swamp area.
Yes.
Or like a bottom land.
Yeah, it's a swamp area. The water literally sits there and doesn't move. You could drop a leaf on it and it's barely even, I mean, good luck. Come back in an hour or two and you may see it move a centimeter.
Right.
So when it comes to, yeah, it is. Well, in some parts it depends too, because the level raises and lowers depending on obviously weather, kind of like when we're down in Nashville and stuff. Depending on the weather, the rainfall, nature, it's going to
run off from the river.
Up and down, up and down, up and down. So it is at different levels. Now I'm going to show you another video. Shout out Millie Joy and Rob. I'll show you another video where they also walked back there and they kind of clipped it all into in 5 minutes. My videos, I have a bunch of different videos from different parts, and so I'm going to show you theirs, and we can go to any of the other footage that I have if you'd like. Now, when it comes to the fishermen, when it comes to this timeline, okay, somebody had requested or had called 911, right? Let me see here.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for the death certificate to find out exactly where the bullets were.
Let's see. Okay, so 3:03 p.m. They were dispatched to Lumbera River State Park in reference to a well-being check. Okay, 3:03. She called right before 3 o'clock. Okay, so it was just minutes. Now, when you look, this park isn't that big. It's not that big. You're literally pulling in from Princess Anne Road. You can go down here to where the boat dock is, and then there's a couple shelters and then a trail that goes all the way back there. There's not much to it. Now, when you look at what time this person came, because, right, the fisherman, heard the gunshot.
Correct.
Okay, so that would be at 3 o'clock. They're deploying drones and all this stuff 45 minutes later.
Yeah.
Okay. While conducting the aerial search, detectives were approached by an individual who stated he had found a bag. So at 3:45, somebody finally came to say that he had found a bag at 3 o'clock.
After he heard crying, after he heard the gunshot,
Yes.
and then it was silence, and then he found her belongings quick, but then waited almost an hour before he said, "Hey, police, this is what I got."
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
And right. And the thing is this person left during that 45 minutes. This person left the park.
The witness did.
Yes.
With
the bag, left the park in a truck and came back in a car. And then approached at 3. Well, it doesn't say specifically. It says during, which would be anywhere from 3:45 when it started up to 4:23 was their drone search. So I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt. 45. It could have been 50. It could have been 55.
So do you know if he got rid of his boat? Like if he pulled the boat out?
He got the bag. He took the bag and he returned to the boat ramp, put his boat on his trailer, left with his truck.
So he used the boat ramp at Lumber River, right? Which means he would have had to see multiple law enforcement agencies, right?
Because you have a boat and you have to get the truck and you have to put it on the trailer and you have to. It takes time.
It takes a
minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes time. 15 minutes, maybe more. Right?
Drain plug, straps, making sure everything's straight.
Yeah. So
my thing is, he would have had to at least see the law enforcement vehicles, right, during that time frame. Whenever he pulled out.
Well, the deputies arrived at 3:31. Okay.
Oh.
They arrived at 3:31.
That's one of the best parts about this. Sorry. That's one of the best parts about this, Trey, is that the
he didn't have a
park rangers investigated it.
Are they federal park rangers? Because I know there's like county, like.
No, they're.
There's like state parks and there's federal parks.
I'm trying to think. It's Robeson
That's a state
County.
park, I thought.
Yeah, that is a state park.
And by the way, it was she was found about 100 feet away from the casings. 100 feet away.
Yes, multiple.
According to the medical examiner report.
And
that's a pretty good distance, unless they didn't do an autopsy, correct?
No.
No autopsy was done.
That's weird.
Not even an X-ray of any kind.
They didn't even. No, wow.
Oh yeah, it was a kayak, so he didn't need the trailer. He just tossed it in the truck. There's a fisherman and a kayaker. They both know each other, but they don't know each other.
Right. There's like know of each other.
They give each one of them says to the person that's interviewing them that the other one knows that they weren't part of the crime. Oh, he said he knows I'm not part of the crime. Yeah, he said no, I see why you didn't see that body, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Not that his name's Jimmy, but
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that whole part doesn't make sense.
But it is a state park. They have cameras. They don't work. Even when I went there, I went up there 3 different times.
They don't work.
They don't work. They didn't work when I was there because I asked them if the cameras worked, if they had security cameras. Yeah, we do. Okay, do they work? No, they don't right now. Okay.
Right now.
They didn't work back then either.
So he never tried to call law enforcement?
He came back and came up to him.
Okay, so he had a good window.
There was somebody else that had called when they had found the location of the body. That was at 4:23. An individual contacted Robeson County 911 and advised that he had located the body. Now, that call is the 911 call where you hear the gentleman talking and it just constantly cuts out and you can't hear nothing. And this is the crazy thing, Trey, is as soon as every time that I went there, as soon as I pulled in and I drove past Lumber River State Park, your connection just drops.
I've been in areas like that.
It just you can barely get a connection, period. So you hear the guy and his connection, but when it comes to her connection on the 911 call at Lumber River State Park, it's crystal clear, but you don't hear any nature sounds in the background either.
Or water. Or anything like that.
Or water.
Walking through the muck.
And when they're first talking on the 911 call and she's asking the 911 operator, I need you to pin my location.
Yeah, she asked
she goes, I don't think you're in Robeson County, honey.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
They could have mapped that. So, like, I don't know about that area and their technology, but I know back in, like, 2015 where I live, they updated everything. They went from, I forgot what the system was called, but everything was routed over the internet to where you could pretty much redirect the call to anywhere, like, in the state. And then as far as geolocated, like, if someone calls 911, you'll get, like, a radius. Like, if it's a landline, it'll be, like, pinpoint. But if it's a cell phone, you'll have, like, a radius. And then if you're trying to pinpoint that person, which it'll put you within, like, a block typically. Like, you know, you could be, like, guess 5 houses depending on how populated it is. But you keep enhancing the call is what you do. And then it's supposed to narrow it down. So you'd have a good idea. But, I mean, you would know if it was in a different county. Like, it would pop up or should pop up on mapping. So whenever 911 call comes in, it would pull up with, like, information. And then, like, the service provider, so like Verizon, AT&T phone number, so that way you can call it back and it would populate it into CAD, and then the geolocation should pop up as well. And then you're supposed to be mapping and all that. So it kind of, now there are some times where, depending on how, I don't want to say podunk, but there are some areas where their 911 is not that great. But even back in the 90s, they could do that. So So if the dispatcher said that, it kind of sounds. How close are the county lines around that park?
You're real close because
Pretty close.
It's not much because it's in North Carolina and you're going across the border. It's not far across the border. I'm thinking maybe like 20 minutes.
Okay.
In past the border of South Carolina, North Carolina border. It's not very far. You go through a town called Fair Bluff, which was hit from a hurricane and became pretty much a ghost town, which is creepy. If anybody hasn't watched my walkthrough of Fair Bluff, North Carolina, go check out my video section. It's crazy.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, man. Because I was going out there the first time I was going out there. And I wanted to go the exact route, but I did take footage of the whole route if anybody wants to see it too. It's like you're sitting in the car driving from her apartment to the pawn shop to the gas station to Lumber River State Park, all the same route. I even go through like the gas station like she did. Um, when you're doing the drive, and I was going out there for the first time, I was driving through Fair Bluff, and I had never seen anything like it in my life because I'm looking around, dude. The roofs are caved in, the windows are
Oh
broken and
man.
smashed, everything's empty, and this is Main Street downtown. And I'm like, hold on a minute, y'all. I gotta pull over real quick and go explore this here. And yeah, so I just walked down each side of the street of the main street and gave you a look inside the buildings and the scenery and what it looks like. I didn't know at the moment. I didn't know when I took it like what had happened. But I guess a hurricane came through and just totally took out, the whole area, and they were never able to recover.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just over the state line, which is 15, 20 minutes. I think closer to 20.
It'd be
And
interesting
really-
to see where that initial geolocation popped up at, as far as when she called 911.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why.
just to see where it put her. I mean,
You know-
things can drift, I guess you can call it as
Oh,
such.
yeah.
But the 911, the operator should have been reallocating it to get her closer, the closest location where she was at.
Right.
But it would be interesting to see how it came in or how it was routed.
Yeah, they probably didn't keep those records, and I don't know if they would even do something like that.
When
JLR did a great video about Lumberton, and that's
Yeah.
where Lumber River State Park is. Shout out JLR. You guys should watch that video that he did, and crazy enough, it was over a year ago.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
And it is one of the most dangerous counties in the United States, let alone the state of North Carolina. Narked, when I was there, dude, I was there the second time. The second time I went there is when I ran into 6 locals. And these locals, dude, when do you ever get into a conversation about who has what ammunition?
I mean, if I'm at the range, or if I'm talking about
We weren't at
friends,
a range, man. We were
Yeah.
on the observation deck.
that
We
doesn't
were
make
on the
sense.
observation deck.
Talking like,
What-
say you and me were talking about, personally, because we know each other. Just, hey man, what you carrying, like whatever, but not.
No, it
Not out.
came from a conversation where I told them I was just fine, because it was a conversation that had it was we all, it was a good conversation. But when they were telling me, because okay, so I was just coming back out from exploring deep into the woods.
Right.
Okay, I went way back in there, like where the thing is, the little ticker on the map.
Yeah.
All right. So I was going into areas that were just trails. You didn't know. I wanted to see exactly what was back there. I found 4 cement bags back there when I went searching, which was odd.
Just randomly.
4 cement bags. Yeah, that was crazy. But when I was coming back out, and there was 2 carfuls of people, and there was 5 guys and 1 girl. And as I was coming back up, they knew that I wasn't from there, obviously, because it's a small area. Everybody knows everybody up there. They know if you're a stranger. And also, I had my media stuff, so I was taking footage, and I had a
Sticking out.
camera with me. Right, so I'm coming out of the trail woods. I'm coming up to the parking lot. What are you doing?
Yep. You were
Where are
in
you
the-
from? Where?
Yeah.
Oh, what? How much money you make off that? Like all these weird. I'm
Just
like,
quick.
what? I was like, yo, I just started this stuff like a couple years ago here.
So they were
It's not-
testing you really quick. Who are you? What are you
Oh
about?
yeah, they knew,
You're
right?
not from here.
So it was already like, this is Robeson County. You don't know where you're at. This and that. So I'm like, look, okay, you guys are local. Answer me some questions here. Does this evidence make sense? Does this situation, oh, you're talking about that girl that they found over here a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that person. Yeah. We heard about that. They're like, man, this is they don't investigate nothing
That's what I was gonna
here,
say.
son. They don't investigate nothing here, son. They don't investigate nothing here. What? I'm like, well, here, just you guys are from here. Can I take you to the observation deck? Can I explain everything to you? And you just tell me from what you know. Because I really, locals are the best ones to talk to. So when we went on the
Speaking of the
observation deck,
observation deck,
yeah,
speaking of that observation deck, if you go on to the lumber website, they got a really good photo of that observation deck.
I got a good video.
So
I got a good,
Yeah,
I got a good video, man.
So
Right.
I got a, not to like name drop, I'm not gonna name drop, but I got a buddy that's a coroner. So I'm gonna send him this timeline whenever we get done and just see if he'll look at it. I don't know if he'll actually look at it, but the whole 100 was 100 feet or 100 yards from the casings that were the distance between her and the casings was
100 feet, it says. Did you say coroner?
yeah, my buddy's a coroner.
So maybe we should also make sure that he gets the death certificate report.
And I'll give you the medical examiner's stuff too.
And I'll
Yes, please.
I won't mention his name.
'Cause
Just
I
like,
don't-
hey man, will you look
No,
at
no,
this
no.
and tell me if it makes sense?
Especially the medical examiner's report, dude.
I don't wanna get into
What
that.
bothers me the most is that they say on the exam, or I'm sorry, the certificate, that they did no radiological exam, yet they were able to detect 2 fractures in the back of her head.
Mhm.
What? How did
Yeah.
you do that?
That doesn't make any sense. Like whenever I was like, I'll say
Yeah.
back in the day, but back in the day, like we would help sometimes. Someone might be in the house for a week or 2 weeks, and we'd use air packs to, assist. But typically, like I know with the autopsies, if it's like cut and dry, like someone's 90 years old and they're on the in the bathroom or in their bed, an autopsy probably won't be done unless the family requests it. But I don't know. I'm not, what I mean? I'm not in that field, but it's just weird that they didn't at least do an autopsy. Like we do that with people that just drown. Where it's like kind of cut and dry.
Well, the husband, the pastor, controlled a lot of the narrative and the timeline of a lot of these things.
They were still married, right? Like 100.
Technically, yeah, but
Yeah.
legally, even though she filed, but
I don't know how that works when I know family can request an autopsy, but if you're married, I don't know who gets the
Well, it's very
last say.
touchy because they were in the beginning stages of the separation and alongside a protective order. What's funny about the coroner's report or medical examiner's report is that it's literally word for word everything that the husband has been saying for the past 3 months, as if it looks like they went and dug deep into the history, her medical history in South Carolina. If they had really dug, they would have found that they had been separated. They would have found the police reports and whatnot. They would have found that there was protective order.
Right,
So
and then red
none of
flags.
that comes up. So it just sounds like the husband dictated.
It doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
I don't, even though it was, you have the recording of her saying what was going to happen, but even in again, no, in the back of my head, you would still want to at least see what was in their blood, like at the very
Right.
minimum,
right,
like
right.
regardless, just to see
To
what
see
was
if there
going
was
on.
a substance that might have influenced it and things like that.
And then they cremated her, which
I think there was still a toxicology. They claimed that there was tissue and whatnot that was saved aside
I don't know how that
for
exactly
that.
works,
Yeah,
but
I was always under the impression you can only save it up to 7 days, but I might be old school. I don't know.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it just sounds like everything was just get this done and over with as fast as possible, and then it'll go away.
Yeah,
not-
that's what they thought.
Exactly.
That's
When
what
it-
they thought.
That's how I
until-
felt too.
Yeah, until everybody started talking about it,
Yeah.
and then
And another thing, I used to be a 911 communicator. Absolutely hated it. So I respect everyone that does that. One of the hardest jobs I've ever done. Like it was fun, but just terrible. I'm a person that likes to go and do, you know what I mean? But what I was trying to say. So it was 911 and then
yeah, we'll talk about that 911 later because there's some that think it's AI. I've never thought
Oh.
it was AI.
whenever
I think it's somebody else.
Say you get a 911 hang up. So we're always trained 911 hang up, and then you call the number back and say it's grandma on the line, and they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, everything's fine."
Whoa. Okay. If I can just interject one more thing
You're
for
good.
your corner friend. So she was found prone in the water.
Mhm.
Yet, if you look at the
Submerged.
medical report, the what do you call it? The liver, where the blood settles, is posterior. I'm not sure how that would happen.
That's weird.
Right. That's one of the weirdest things. That's really.
I don't know. It's hard for me to put input on that. Like I know, like difference in like from what I'm trained for. Like as far as the fire service, you find people in a certain way most of the time. But as far as that, I don't know what the most common way they would be found. But as far as the 911 caller and then the police like kind of saying they basically have what she was saying, and that's kind of how they based everything. And they're I don't want to say their investigation, but if someone calls 911 and then the hang up part, you always send someone out to do a welfare check, no matter 150, like no matter what, because someone could be standing there next to him saying, "Hey, you say this, or I'm going to do this." So
here's part of that medical examiner report too. Right here, where an entrance wound is bigger than the exit wound.
I'm just saying someone could have been standing next to her whenever she called 911.
1.5 inches by 1/2 inch, and this one's
Sounded forced.
11/16 by 5/16, which is supposed to be the exit wound. That's one thing that don't make sense.
Did you just say entrance wound was bigger than the exit?
Yeah, right here.
That doesn't make any sense.
Entrance.
I have never seen that before in my life.
It's supposed to be the entrance should be small and then the exit should be big.
1.5 inches by 1/2 inch is the entrance. The exit is 11/16 by 5/16.
They might have that backwards.
Well, but how? Because that I would have to assume that. But
have you ever went hunting?
I don't need to go hunting.
If you've ever been hunting, you know that the exit wound's always been.
You don't
like, yeah, the
it's
entrance.
just common sense. Like when it comes to injuries, it's just common.
Right.
Well, if they have it reversed and it's the other way around, then it's actually going to prove that somebody else did it because she's right-handed.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly did it with left. Here's what the skull fractures.
I'm so confused. Can you zoom out just a little bit? Because like,
yeah,
as far as like, I know like literally like patient left, patient right, as far as body diagrams. So
here, let me.
I don't know what I'm seeing as far as, you know, like the camera will sometimes flip stuff. I just want to make sure I'm seeing what I'm. So where your mouse is, go to the left. Go to your. I guess it would be left. Okay, so that, yeah, that would be patient left, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was want to make sure I was seeing that right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, and that says exit wound. And then
Right.
the entrance is on the right, which means it was on the
right. But this is how it can't be mixed up, though. You have material deposited.
Well, you got
also
along the edges of the wound, yeah, with the muzzle imprint, which is always at the entrance wound.
It just don't make sense. None of it does. So I didn't know your buddy was a coroner. I'll send you. I got a whole bunch of documents, dude.
I don't know if he'll actually like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or whenever. Whenever he might want, you know. What,
I'd just rather him say what the anomalies are, what anomalies he sees.
Just be like, hey, if I take it and print it out and hand it to him, he'd probably be more apt to look at it. Especially if I point out something that's just kind of weird to begin with, it might make him want to look at it.
Now, when it comes to people getting pulled out of the water, Trey,
Yeah.
when it comes to people getting pulled out of the water, do they get bruises and scratches on their hands from tree limbs?
Oh man, that's like a open-ended question. So like, it just depends on how they entered the water. Like I'm used to people like going off of boats. So
So
wait a
there's
minute.
probably already
Okay.
because
It just depends what the cause was. Like the cause of this isn't a drowning, but that's what I'm used to. So she had
yeah.
bruises on her hands.
Well, the family. So this is the weird thing. The family states that there was bruising and scratches on her hand, and we'll get into the interviews from the family and how they describe things in a future episode for this.
I
But
would have,
they state
sorry, I would have to look at this like swampy area. Like would you have to like
here.
crawl over anything if that makes sense, or like get stuck in the muck?
Here, let me show this video. Shout out Rob. I'm going to show his video. This is when the protesters went back the second time.
Like as far as the terrain.
Yeah, and they took a video. Hold on one second. We'll play this here real quick. Let me share it.
Here's the jail right across the street. Here we are. 8 o'clock on the dot. All right, guys. There's our fearless leader. We're setting up here at Robeson County Sheriff's Department. We've got some cool peeps that are starting to gather. And even if there's just a few, we are mighty in spirit. Justice for Mica! Yeah, so she parked right over here. And then this is the main entrances to the trails. But it said that she
So when I'm walking, this is where I'm walking right here. When you see my footage, right to the left of where they're standing is where those people were at that I started talking to. That eventually they told me that they could get my shoe soles to come off. I'd be flying so fast out of there, and I said, "No, I'm good. Trust me." And that's when he's like, "Oh, okay. What kind of ammunition?" And then we had a nice little conversation after that. Yeah, we had a nice little conversation.
She went on some other way, which is this way, which how would she have even known that this was a thing, you know?
Crazy, dangerous steps. Be safe going down these things, man.
So we're still walking, guys. This is a trail, not only an ATV.
And I do have my GoPro footage of this too, but I just wanted to show this because it's a nice, quick clipped edit.
Here. Could fit, like a four-wheeler could fit, any vehicle could fit on this trail. And apparently there's more Ys up here. We have to either, decide which way you're going to go.
So basically, when you're looking at the map, let me get back to the map here. So basically, when you're looking at this map, see the observation deck, and then you see like the trail going right here. So they basically walked that whole trail, and now they're walking a little section that branches off from this trail where my cursor's at. It branches off. There's authorized park only or authorized vehicles only or something like that. That you can go back there. And so now they're walking on trails to get back here. And the thing is when you're walking on these trails, there is no signs telling you to turn left or to go straight or to do any of this. You're basically walking up and you're going to a fork and you're like, do I take the right or do I take the left? I don't know. And you might be going down that trail and you see some other trails that branch off of it, but you can still go straight. And so it's like its own little interconnected spider web type trail back there as we're kind of watching this video, just to kind of give you an idea of where they're walking. Yeah, employees only, authorized vehicles only.
But no one listens to that.
Okay, so we're
The cameras don't work, and they don't mind. And they don't
Oh.
mind.
on the authorized personnel only trail, Lumber River State Park. And there's literally numerous trails in here. This is not the main way to go. You're telling me she'd never
Right.
been here before.
Yeah.
Oh, so she had never been
You
there.
know, female
Whether like
all
paper
alone.
spot.
Well, when they asked her on the 911 call, they asked her where she was at, and she didn't know. She said, Fair Bluff, which Fair Bluff is, so here's Lumber River State Park. I don't know if is it showing it?
It's
Yeah.
showing.
Okay, so here's Lumber River State Park. Fair Bluff is down here. So when she goes, Fair Bluff, she didn't know. Because when you're pulling in here, let me get the street view for you. When you're pulling in here, this is a whole bunch of country road, man. Like, if you don't have it put in, I mean, just look at the path right here. If you don't have this put in your GPS, you're not making it. And the only reason you're going to make it if you don't have it put in your GPS, and if you have it put in your GPS, you know where you're at. So if you don't have your GPS up, but you somehow got there, well, then to me, you're following somebody. And she must have noticed going through Fair Bluff, because when I was going up there, I was like, holy hell, this is where am I? Fair Bluff? Because of how shocking it is. So the last city that you remember, if you're just driving through following somebody, is Fair Bluff. And so when you're coming here, this is the street view that it's pretty obvious that you're at Lumber River State Park, because as soon as you pull up, you literally see the sign right there. And then as you're going in, you got your park hours. There's your park office right there. It's Lumber River State Park, and it's not very big at all. Here's the parking lot. You keep driving down, you get to another parking lot with a boat ramp and a little swing set area and stuff like that. The park is not that big. So how do you know to not only to go this path, but
It's
how
a lot of navigating.
Right, but how do you know to navigate through all these trails? Because right here see where it starts to cut off right here? That's right around where, actually it's more about right here. This little trail right here is where that trail splits off to where you get to the authorized vehicles only. Next thing you know, who knows where you're going in these paths? Who knows?
And meanwhile, back at the ranch, the reason why she even made the 911 call was to alert her family of her location.
Because she wanted them to know where she was at.
Right.
So they weren't looking. Man. So they didn't even. That's making me mad. So they didn't even do any. I mean, did they test her hands?
They tested nothing.
When the locals are telling me on that observation deck over and over, you don't know where you're at. I'm telling you, hey, tell him. And there was two other fishermen on the observation deck, and they said, yeah, we lived here our whole life. They don't investigate shit, honey.
Yeah.
They don't investigate shit.
I don't know what the time frame is, but if I go, this is YouTube, so if I go outside and go to the range and whatever, I think it's supposed to stay on you for a certain amount of time, like on your hands. Like the powder.
Yeah,
So,
the residue.
Yeah.
No, there was nothing. Dude, when the park rangers hand the family the casings.
That makes no sense.
When do park rangers handle crime scene investigations, bro?
When do they turn over potential evidence? Like anyone turn over potential evidence?
When do they handle crime scene investigations?
That doesn't make sense either. Not unless they're like a federal. Do they carry guns or anything?
I didn't see any, but I wasn't.
If it's
really
the park
looking.
rangers, so like where I live, there's two types of park rangers, like Yogi the Bear style park ranger, like, hey, y'all, like safety stuff. And then you got like federal wildlife officers. That's from where I'm from. So they would handle like a thing, but they're like, you know what I mean, like legit law enforcement.
The park rangers were like Yogi Bears, but they were cool.
Right.
Like they were very helpful. Like I needed a piece of equipment, and they went to their garage and got me a piece of equipment.
Right, but according to
Like, they're cool.
one of the recent interviews that the husband did, it's recent, where he was talking about, and I think it was News Nation, where he was talking about the 911 call, and he claimed that on that night, now you know medical protocol, on that night, his family member called the hospital and the morgue, spoke to a nurse, and the nurse told him it was suicide.
That's
that doesn't
you can't release anything. Like,
right.
I work in a hospital and I'm just a dum-dum, but like someone shows up and says, hey, is Mike here? And it's like, Mike who? And then if they, like, depending on how it is, but like if people are calling up, you can't release it, like
That's
information.
right.
You can't be
No.
like, yeah, they're here.
Right.
Like, you got to make contact with the patient first. Like,
or give
give
the
consent.
information of the cause
Right.
of death
No,
Right.
you're not going to say anything like
in
that.
less than 6 hours.
No.
Yeah.
Someone would be fired and it'd be a HIPAA violation real quick.
Big time.
Like,
And mind you, he announced it on
Yeah,
the
there's a-
altar.
I'm surprised the hospital hasn't had an internal, like, no, I want to say internal, but an investigation and someone's
They
fired.
don't investigate nothing, man. That's
But-
that's why these locals, they were like, dude, we could do, they said, we don't
do
know what's
whatever they
going to
want.
happen to you when you go back up to the parking lot. They said, you're cool with us. You're cool with, after we talked for like 45, they're like, dude, you're cool with us, man. We can't tell you, even, we don't know. We can't say the same about you, who you might run into up there just going back to the parking lot. You ain't from here. You don't know. I mean, it was like they kept putting it in, like, just
That's
shoving
weird.
it in front of my face, dude. Like, and I told them where she was, the evidence, where the evidence was located, even the stuff about the park rangers doing the investigation too.
That doesn't make
Like,
any sense. Like, as
and
a
they were like, dude, they just kept saying, I kept giving them the facts and the evidence, and every response they had was, we done told you, they don't investigate nothing here, son.
Yeah, and the husband was announcing the cause of death on the altar the next day, less than 12 hours later.
to
Yeah.
paint a
With
narrative.
security.
You know, I've had
Oh.
I've had people that I know do that, right? No one ever says that's what happened. It just says that, you know what I mean? Like, as far as the public, I've had
Right.
2 friends commit, and no one's, like, you know, in the newspaper, no one's came out on Facebook and said, oh yeah, this is what happened. It's usually, hey, you know, they died on this day, and that's it.
Right.
Like, and it's usually something nice. They don't say anything about SI. So
Right.
Yeah, and when you look up the statistics,
You know,
of
heard
Robeson
about that
County-
girl and
Go ahead.
Veronica, go ahead.
sorry,
you're good.
sorry.
No, you're good.
But y'all heard about that girl that that they found? What they said that she unalived herself, but actually her body was moved, and she also didn't have any hands. That was in Robeson County, and they said that she unalived herself.
Wow. Yeah. It because you look at the
So-
statistics when it comes to death from a weapon, 67% is self-induced is what they've ruled. 67% of those are self-induced, like 32% or something like that with just regular homicide. And then the rest of it was like less than 1%. It's like they just rule it a self-induced, even if the facts and the evidence don't line up for it to be self-induced.
That's the exact same thing
It's
that happens
just the
with water.
easiest way to rule it, close it, and wipe it away because you don't have to look for nobody.
Right.
And the statistics on females actually using a weapon to unalive
Slim.
themselves.
Yeah.
Usually
Very
slim.
uncommon.
Super slim.
Yep. And when it comes to, let's just, if we're going to talk statistics, how many females do that for, to unalive themselves?
It's usually
Rare. Very rare.
Right.
Usually it's medication, it's other routes that it's not,
Heart.
yeah, in a different part of the body. It's not their face or their head.
From what
And
I
so,
read, from what I said that they are more unlikely to want to dismember their face.
yeah. Yeah, it's very,
it's-
very, very low.
so. Just a bit go back. You said that she had bruises on her hands, correct?
Right. So the family was stating that she had bruises on her hands and there were
So,
scratches too, and they even said that the bruises looked as if somebody was holding her hand.
it's like thumbprints or like the
A
little
certain, like small bruises probably right here, like if you see these
Oh, it's on
fingers
the
right here.
outside.
Small bruises like right here where it would be holding somebody's hand against their will, and then scratches, like somebody
So after
got loose.
and they would have had to.
So the medical examiner said, according to the family, when they talked to them, no, I don't see any scratches. But then you look at the medical examiner report right here, and then you also see something that has several minute post-mortem wounds consistent with retrieval from river and brush, including briars. And that was my original question when we got into this.
So there was no
Is
other marks anywhere else, though. Like it would be
they said
consistent.
they said the hands. The family said the hands. The medical examiner said no, I didn't see any. And then on the report, you do see something right here where it says several minute postmortem wounds consistent with retrieval from river and brush, including briars. So that's why I was asking, how do you get
Well, there should be bruises
that
other places.
that kind of, well, after you passed away?
No.
Yeah, 'cause the
How are
blood don't
you
flow like that.
right, the blood ain't flowing after
what I
you
was gonna
pass
say.
away. So how do you get bruising, according to the family, because the family said there was bruising and scratches? How do you get bruising if your blood isn't circulating through your body? And they didn't find her for, a good hour and a half from when she did it, so there really
And working
wasn't any
for
blood
it.
moving. Go ahead.
Oh, I was done. I was just saying
Oh.
they already knew everything before they even found her, really.
Yeah. The
Well,
park
they already-
rangers.
They already had that picture painted, like from the get go. So no matter what was going to happen, they already had it decided. Do you know, like the depth back there? Like, was she submerged? Was she on top of the water?
She was
like,
submerged. She was submerged to the point where the fisherman's story was that he took his boat in there
so you can actually go up in there with
and
a
he
boat,
bumped,
like all the
Prone.
way up.
Depending-
In there.
Submerged or prone.
depending on water level. Because when I went there, the water was lower. You couldn't get through there because of debris on the bottom and logs. But if it's high enough, you can get in there.
Float through.
Yeah, you could definitely get in there with a kayak, a boat. It just depends on the level. But according to them, she was so submerged that this person didn't notice that there was a body there until they bumped a log, and then her limb came up.
A foot.
And they were talking, and he was referring it to. He was like, when you got like a bag, like a trash bag, and you just go to put it in the water, and there's just a little bit of air that's stuck left in it, and it won't go underneath. He was like, that's what it looked like. Like it just barely came out of the water. How do you get submerged
And
in
have
an
debris
hour and a
on you.
half? The water don't move, right? Have debris on you in still water. And when you're
Yeah, it was
going
like
back
they
there,
didn't want her to be found.
right? And that's why I wondered about the cement bags, because it makes me wonder, was something got rushed? Because
I'm going.
I talked to the family. The family tells me that there was a tree. They told me what they marked it with out there. Of
Oh, it
what
is
tree
marked.
has they told me what they marked it with. It has a bullet hole in it. And when it came to what else? Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought now. There's so much stuff going through my head.
Yeah, I'm
and if
going.
you look at the
When it
wording,
comes to
I'm
the
sorry.
bag,
Yeah.
when it comes to the bag, they told me they wanted to express to me when I talked to them that bag that the person picked up when he found, I heard the shot and the cry and I went and I saw the bag. They said the bag was way past her body, and how he didn't see her body didn't make sense either.
Yeah.
You just the way it
Even the
looked.
wording is off. Even the wording is off if you look at the wording.
I don't even see how he found the bag that quick. Like it's woods, water, trails.
Mhm.
Like out of all that area, how do you just go to that quick? I mean that part doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you could walk through there and I could place something and be like, "Hey, go find it," and it's gonna take you like I don't
Dude,
know.
I got to show you the footage. Because a lot of the stories, there was a lot of before I went and got the footage and I went back there myself, you would listen to these fishermen stories and then why is everybody blaming me and all this other stuff, right? And then I like go there myself and I look and I see where he would have to go to get the bag, the walk that he would have to get to, how he would get there from the water. His whole story, when I went there, doesn't make sense, bro. I'm looking at it and I'm like, this doesn't even happen right here with the way he's saying it happened.
I took a vacation, by the way.
Do we know what kind of boat this guy was in?
It was a bass boat. Well, it looked like an older Ranger style bass boat.
One was a kayak, one was a boat, and they're both from there, but somehow they don't refer to the other one's names in the interviews.
The one picture I saw was a red boat that I remember. It was in one of the news. That red boat kind of reminded me of a custom boat.
That's a big boat.
Custom fiberglass.
Yeah, it'll definitely look fiberglass. Like I think my John boat would fit back up in there, but I would have to have dimensions and all that and just see. Plus, I haven't been to that area.
I'm curious about exactly what kind of boat this guy was in.
He took News Nation out on it, and he took News Nation and he said, "Yeah, this is where I heard. This is where I noticed it." Dude, I'm telling you, when you're there, it makes absolutely no sense, and that's why it's like, when it comes to these stories, I can only walk back there. You know what I mean? That's all I can do. I can only walk back there and show you from that angle. It doesn't.
Even when you, sorry, CJ.
No, go ahead.
Even when you look at the satellite view on the maps, and it shows the water for the river, but it doesn't show, depending on which map type you're looking at, it doesn't even show the water that's
going up in
where
there.
she's found.
Right, yeah, it's right
so
back
minute.
here. Yeah, it's right back here. Well, it's the woods are so dense, but you got to think back in April, the foliage was different. You know, it's still a state park. There's still a lot of foliage, trust me. But now it's going to be so thick, you wouldn't be able to see it. And even when you're walking back there, so when I'm standing on the observation deck and I'm looking out here, let me go to my videos here. I'll show you. Let's see. Which one is it? Hold on. I started going through everything recently. Let me see here.
Does anyone know what kind of ammo it was?
Here it is. Right? Nope, that's not it.
Oh, let me look here.
Put it. Here they are. We got so many freaking.
I think it mentions it in the report.
Okay, here we go. 90. Let's see. So this was 6/4 when I took this footage. 6/4. All right.
It just mentions the God.
Let's see. 903. 903. So here's one.
All right, we're gonna be heading to.
Okay, so that's where the boat ramp is. That's where you park. That's where you can get into the boat ramp. Okay, let me show the next one. Let's see. 9.
It just says 2 spent casings and 1 live round found.
So it doesn't say if it was like steel, brass, aluminum.
No. I would assume that would take an actual investigation to come to that conclusion.
No, it's just common knowledge, though. Like they could just write it down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's the stairs.
That's awesome,
so this
man.
is.
I love you.
Just say if it was ballpoint or anything. It doesn't. Never mind. I know it doesn't.
So this is walking down to the trail, and then I'll show you guys the video of the observation deck. Now, this is going to show you. This was from June 4th, so not too much long after. This is just to show you a little idea of the foliage. Also, there's a lot of the same standing water here too. And so let me play the next one here. This is going to be showing the observation deck and walking up to it. Now here are the birds, here the nature sounds. Where's that on the 911 call?
It's prominent.
Yeah, there's no nature on the 911 call. Which makes
Did you
me
play the
believe she was
911
in a
call?
vehicle
Did
at
I
that
miss
time.
that?
No, we haven't got to it
Oh,
yet.
okay.
So this is when I was at, I think this was the first time. Yeah, this was the first time I was there. So here's the observation deck, not very big. So straight back is where, if you keep going back into there, into that little cove that goes in there, I can't remember what the word is. Locals, will you tell me what the slough or something? What's it called? You guys have a certain word for it. The part that goes through there straight back, how you can't see nothing. Even when we'll show the fisherman taking News Nation on his boat, you can't see nothing. The crazy thing is I could see everything way back inside there. So I could literally look from those woods and I could see the observation deck.
Right.
I could see people. I even took a video where I was zooming in, showing you guys, like, look, here's the people, you guys. Da, da, da. But it's very thick back there. Now I got more footage where I'm walking in the back and I'm going down the trails and all that stuff, but I'm going to show you Rob's video because he just literally puts it all in a little 5-minute video. And I want to highlight him too. But this is the observation deck. Right here. Little bit of movement, little bit of current. It's nothing crazy strong.
It's not bad at all.
Nothing crazy strong. And then you'll see some of the water that's like muck standing still. Dude, it looks like motor oil. That's how mucky it is. The water that's just still and sitting there. And I even show a close-up on that. It's like motor oil. So
Wow.
here's, let me see. Here's this one.
It like filters out. It's like tea.
They call it black tea. They call that river black tea.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to show you guys this foliage. And this is the part that you can see from that Google map, that little walkway that I went up and down. This is that walkway. When you see the trail going and then it hits the T section, this is the T section right here. The 3 signs.
Wow. There's no way she walked this.
And then, and I'm going to use Rob's video to show you all the different, how there is no signs. There is no way to navigate back there. If you've never been there before, how do you even know? How do you even know? Because like Busby said, you look at the Google map, it don't show you nothing else other than, right.
Only.
If you want to be found, right? Like, why go all the way out to where you have to make sure someone, like, you call 911 to make sure they know where you're at if you're wanting to be found.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going out of my way to above and beyond. You have to drive, car ride, navigate all the way out here, find this place, and then.
Well, especially if you're going to have your family, you're calling because you want your family to know where you're at. Why are you even going to Lumber River State Park, a place that you obviously haven't been to because you said Fairbanks or Fair Bluff. Yeah, you obviously don't know. How are you going to know this navigation? How are you, and you're going to make your family, if you're calling to make sure that your family can find you, why are you making it difficult to get there?
Plus, water messes up a lot of evidence.
How would anybody know when you see the paths that are taken? How would anybody know to go that specific route? And when you listen to the fisherman's story, and he was like, "Yeah, the bag was right off the trail. If you go back there, it's right off that trail." It's like, wait a minute, no, it's not. Look at that water, man.
It's like oil.
It looks like oil. And that's what the water looks like. That's what the water looks like sitting back there, bro. It's just sitting there.
Pause it right there, CJ. Now, Trey, would you navigate a boat that size through there?
That's not the spot. That's just a ditch. I'm just showing the I have different videos and stuff where I go back there and I took that video. I just wanted to show just as a quick clip. That way when we see Rob's, you'll understand this is the water. You can visualize this water.
Do you have to cross that?
It all depends on, there's sometimes this path, there is a part that you will get wet when you're crossing it. but depending on the water level, sometimes there's no water and you can cross the path. Now, supposedly there was water. And according to Abigail, when I talked to her, she said that when they went there, she said that everybody's shoes got ruined
Wow.
because from the water.
Yeah, you have to
And
have some muck boots and stuff.
Right. She said, I didn't care. But she did tell me that everybody's shoes were ruined. So she said, make sure you wear a pair of shoes or boots that you don't care if they get ruined or not, just in case the water level is a certain level. And she said, also be careful of alligators.
Is there a bunch of alligators?
It's swamp.
Yeah, but
It's swamp. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't looking. But I didn't see any, but it doesn't mean there's not any there, or there's not a whole bunch of them. I couldn't tell you, man. I just know that I didn't see any, but I wasn't really looking. I was more looking for snakes and stuff like that, because just like there, they have a lot of the same snakes as we were kind of getting into in Nashville and Hendersonville when we were doing our searches. There's a lot of them snakes around, and
so this is like kind of like Florida in a sense.
Yeah, it's muck. Yeah, it's muck. So when it comes to this trail, I'm going to bring this back to this video. Now, I just showed you guys where they walked to. Now I'm going to show you with his video, because it's shout out Rob. Appreciate him. Here's the link. Go hit it up with support. He breaks it down into a few minutes. I got a bunch of videos that it would take us forever. That's why I need to have another one of those episodes. But I'm going to play his. You'll see all the different, well, you got to go down this way. And then when you get here, you got to turn here. And when you get here, you got to go this part. And it's like, how does this even make sense again? All right. So let's get back to this. This is that video here. Where we just walked in that area.
You can go that way. You can go that way. You can go that way. There's no water.
See, sometimes there's water.
Now saying that the water that was here is no longer here.
So it just flows in and out depending on the river, basically.
Right. Depending on the.
So now, instead of going this way, now she would have known to turn this way. Look at that. Stuff's not even marked, guys.
See?
Now, even this one,
not even marked,
or a small vehicle could get through here easy. Okay, now a few minutes down there, it separates yet again, and there's even a smaller trail.
Seems
so
like
this is where. See that water? Here, let me rewind it just a little bit. That's why I was trying to show you guys the visual I could show you. So when you see this, and then you picture this part with that same water. Look. It's muck. There's no movement. It's just sitting there.
It's like the Everglades.
It's like a bog hole or something.
I guarantee there's alligators up in there.
Oh, I'm telling you, like when I went there, like this was before the no-see-ums were nuts everywhere else. When I went there, as soon as I was walking down them stairs that are sketchy, all of a sudden you can just feel and smell, and you're breathing I don't even know what to call it, man. It's like as soon as it's like a sauna of muck.
It smell like low tide.
I don't know, man. It's like a sauna of muck, and as soon as you walk into it, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in a different kind of atmosphere here." It's instant, and it's like that the whole way inside there.
The smell of still water.
The smell, the presence,
algae.
all of it, the air, the intensity. As soon as you walk into them woods, yeah, did you just say bunghole, man? I was wondering that too. I was like,
bog.
Oh, bog hole. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I am a city boy, Bo. I don't know what this stuff is. All right. I'm just saying, it's like a muck atmosphere. It hits you, and the no-see-ums were
It's all
crazy.
that
It was just,
algae.
it's just
Right.
stagnant, is what it is, right, Emma? That's what it is. It's all stagnant, like that.
Mhm.
It's like you walk into a humid cloud or something. You're just like, and
Lack of movement. Yeah.
it just lack of movement of everything.
I know the exact smell you're talking about.
Of everything inside there. All right, so we'll play this. This is that water. It's how is somebody in an hour and a half's time, not even an hour and a half's time, because the people that heard the gunshot in the cry minutes later couldn't, quote, see her because she was submerged.
Hmm.
So, again, why is there cement bags out there? Now, people were saying there's bat houses out there. They use that for bat houses. I was out there 3 times. I didn't see any bat houses. Nobody else
I'd be
saw any
looking
bat
for-
houses.
I'd be looking for a Shrek or a Swamp Ape or something in that area.
Just didn't make any sense. So how does somebody get submerged in minutes in this kind of water? I don't understand how that would happen.
I would have to see how
Especially-
deep it is, see how much muck there is, and we'd have to anyway.
No, like what would be the water level? For it to make sense to you, man. What would be the
Like a
water
pond?
level?
It'd have to be
Huh?
like 5-8 foot deep.
I don't
for
know
me.
if that's. I don't think that's 5-8 foot deep.
I think it's shallower than that.
I think it's only like 3 to 5.
And
And
she's
even-
5'5".
Plus, there's muck, right? So like your feet would be stuck down in the muck.
Yeah.
That don't make any sense.
Well, I mean, the
I'm
gun's not going to
assuming.
float, right?
No,
The
it's gonna be in
gun's
the
not
muck.
going to float.
It's gonna be in
So-
the muck. You have to
So
find all that.
from where the gun was at, because if you did that to yourself, I'm pretty
Right.
sure it's either going to be clutched in your hand, and then eventually when your body falls and it settles, maybe then. But the gun is not going to float in water. It's not going to float down in
So-
water.
How did they find the gun?
It was
Hi.
on the. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought he asked how to define her.
No, how'd they find the firearm?
Okay.
No,
They're
it was right. It was right off into the water. It was into the water, but I think, what was it, 50 feet, 50
Let me
yards,
see.
50 feet.
Let me see.
So how does
So
When-
where she
when you're-
succumbed to her injuries, the gun was not even close to her.
no?
That makes no sense.
No.
Approximately 5 feet from the bank. Using a magnet and the serial number on the gun matched the gun case found in the decedent's car.
So how does your body even float? How does your body even float and get submerged in this water? Because the gun ain't floating. As soon as it happens, the gun goes kaploop.
Well,
Yeah,
just
it's
explain to me how the gun is 5 feet away from the bank and the casings are 100.
It's like they wanted anyway. I can't say that, but
I mean, I don't understand how that would work, but I'm not an expert.
it's like you would want the firearm to be found because it would be in the muck at the bottom, and you're gonna have to look for it. It could be right there, and if you step on anything, you're gonna miss it. You'd have to. It just don't make any sense. Yeah, you know how muck is. You drop a phone in the water, and it goes into the bottom, and
Yeah, good
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
like stuck.
You're not gonna
Like I
find
found
it.
phones and stuff, but anything heavy is gonna go in the muck, and then you're not gonna see it whatsoever, even if the water was clear. Like you might see the indentation, but you're
It's
gonna
like
have to
a
be
quicksand.
you're gonna have to be in the muck with your hands searching, unless they had a metal detector or something. I don't know, but if it was found that way, it makes no sense.
No. And then you all of a sudden found it that quick. It took you that long to find
And the
her.
casings were that makes
Yeah.
no sense either.
Yeah.
Like not in the water, like sunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't add up.
No, it don't. They found it with they did magnet fishing.
Like, is that who
There's no
the police did?
firearm that's gonna.
You said the police
There's no
found
firearm that's gonna eject those.
not that far.
No.
You said the police found it magnet fishing?
Yeah, the investigators found it.
By just willy-nilly.
Oh, isn't that a catch of the year?
Dude,
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing where you can just drop your magnet in there real quick and find it? Almost like you needed to have it.
You know how many magnet fishers go magnet fishing and never find a firearm?
You know how hard it is in this is moving current to get a magnet to stick to a car sometimes. That's a big old object.
Right.
Let alone find a gun that quick.
Yeah, man. This is why
They'd have been better off saying metal detector.
Well, maybe it was, but as far as I heard, it was magnet.
And that's how they got the casings?
Um,
Or the casings were found?
the casings are just
No, they
found.
were found. They were found. The magnet was the gun because the
It
gun
says
was in the
using a
water.
magnet.
Wait a minute. How many casings?
3.
2 casings, 2 spent casings and 1 live round on the Bank River.
And the fisherman only heard 1 gunshot? And it was silence?
Yeah.
No, I'm done. This ain't
Yeah.
right. That ain't even adding up.
You heard crying first. He heard crying, and then he heard the gunshot. He just says gunshot, multiple interviews, gunshot, doesn't say shots, never says shots, but yet there's multiple fired rounds.
Do they know if
the family said one of the rounds they believe was at the tree that they marked with a special marking.
But he only heard 1 shot.
Right.
He claims.
That's
right.
That's where I got hung up too, Trey.
The fisherman claims that there was another boat that had 3 people on it. Did y'all hear that shot? Yeah, we heard it too. But we've never heard from 3 other people in a boat, supposedly a mom, a dad, and a child. Never heard anything.
She allegedly hung up around us. This is so a cluster. All right. So she ended the call before any shots were fired, correct?
Yeah.
You know,
as far as we know, because
right.
the 911 call gets cut off real weird. So
that's what I was gonna say. So another 911 call. There should be there should be 2 audio channels, by the way. There should be a channel that's just the 911 call that you can't hear the dispatcher as far as recordings. If it's a decent 911 dispatch center. So anyway, there should be 2 audio channels. The one where it's combined technically, and then the one just for the 911 caller themselves. So that way you can isolate sounds.
Well, then that might explain why the initial one that was released to the public cut off the end, where allegedly you hear voices and her saying, "Help."
There should, and then
see, it's
it just
cut
doesn't
off.
make sense.
And the other thing is, same fisherman who found the bag left with the bag in possession in a truck, came back in a car, and then handed it to the law enforcement.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just
that's the timeline that I was showing you earlier, where the dude showed up 45 minutes later. He came back 45 minutes later in a car.
Where I'm from, if you did that, you'd find yourself in a interrogation room.
Why wouldn't most people go through that purse in their truck? And then if they're going through the purse, after they go through the purse, then they hand it off at the office if they're going to leave?
Knowing the amount of money that was in it.
No, he didn't. He didn't even, because he tells you in multiple interviews, 2 for sure, he tells you what items were in the purse. And we'll go when we have another episode. It's going to be the fisherman's story and the interviews. When you're hearing that, he sits there and he tells you every single item that was in that purse, where he looked through it because he's talking about this item and this item and this item. One interview, nothing but all $500.
Mm-hmm.
Another interview, a little over $500. Two different amounts. Because one is every bit of 500 exactly, and then another interview, a little over 500. Why did you need to leave the park to go through the purse? Are you telling me you needed to take it back home to go through it? Why? You were in your truck. You could have looked at it then. You could have looked at it, knew something was wrong, because that's the whole reason why you went and got it. You knew something was wrong, and then you could have turned it in at the office. No, I think the dude took it somewhere because somebody said, get the damn purse because I need to go through it. Don't open it until you bring it to me. And then after I look for what I need to look for, then you can have it back and go turn it in.
Does anybody know if Mica was ever around firearms before this? Like ever had one or?
Yes.
She was?
Yeah, her father is Air Force or retired Air Force. And I think he even said that in an interview that she was familiar with.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. All right. So let me play this for you. This is more of the video where they're on location and they're showing where her body was at and the circumstances.
Her body was right there.
That water ain't moving.
Okay, so this is the location where her body was found. And there's the memorial. What was the memorial?
Oh, got it?
Supposedly, and then the water was all the way up to here on April 27th, but supposedly the fisherman came through this slough right here.
So that's where he came through. Now, see what I'm saying, man? How sometimes, depending on the water level,
it
you
varies.
can do it. Yeah, you can do it, or you can't. Depending on that water.
Look at the watermark. You see the watermarks on the face.
Yeah, so that's pretty deep. I mean, it's kind of deep compared to what it is there. If it was that high.
This looks like the lowest right here. And then, yeah, right up here is where you can see. That is quite a bit of difference.
I mean, I can see how she could be submerged if it was that deep. But you would... if the air leaves your lungs and all that... I mean, we've done water recoveries in a pond before where the old man slipped out of the boat and he was sitting in the bottom of the pond. Like, it's kind of common for people to go down into the muck with no current. But for them to find her with her stick, like barely sticking
how did
up.
how did her blood dried on her back?
Yeah, pulled in the back.
We're in the spine. In the spine. Her blood dried on her back
posterior.
Like it pulled, like the blood poured to that area.
Mm-hmm. The liver mortis, which makes no sense if she was prone.
Right.
In the water, found prone.
Like for instance, there's a guy that fell anyway, face forward, and then he's a big guy, and he was like on his face, and then everything pulled to his face. So that doesn't add up either.
No.
Remember, they never thought that anybody was going to look into this. It was going to be clean, swept under the rug. He even said when he announced her death the next morning, nobody talk about it. Just leave it alone. So it was meant to be.
The service was crazy, man. You wouldn't even think that he was going to come out with that note. What he was going to tell you at the end. He had a normal service. It was, I
seen that. You guys covered that.
And then right at the end.
Yeah,
okay,
don't talk
guys,
about it.
Yeah, don't talk about this. Just it's like, whoa. That's when some of the people the ex church members that I talked to, some of them were in attendance that day, and they said when we heard that, we heard him say that at the end of the service, that's when we bolted that church because we knew, bro, no, this is way too sketch. Dude, they literally went from 800 people down to like 50 in a week right after that announcement. That announcement was the signal for a lot of the congregation to be like, yo, I'm out of here. This is not.
Do these dudes that showed up and found all this stuff as far as law enforcement, did they take pictures before they, like as far as placement of stuff?
I would hope, but I haven't seen any photos of any of that.
And if it's a...
has anybody, I don't know if anybody's, I don't think they've, have you, Ann? I haven't seen any photos.
No, I wish we could see photos, but I think
I haven't seen any. And we probably won't be able to.
No, the feds have that, and they have her phone, and they have her Apple Watch. Thank God.
Yeah, I haven't
Is
seen
that
any.
something that you can get a request for?
Not during an investigation.
No, and it's probably going to be investigated for a while because this right here, Trey, I don't know if you saw like a lot of the stuff the last couple weeks about, you know, alibis and.
I know. Vaguely, I don't think that he was. I think you figured out that he placed a call or something from his residence or something like that.
Well, there's a neighbor that called and placed him at the scene or at his house the morning that he was supposed to be in Charleston.
Right.
I've seen that part.
And I've always felt like if you look at it, she was getting ready to expose the financials to investigators. I know as much as people are telling me in chat he's not broke, trust me, he's broke. He's got other people paying his bills, okay?
Right.
He's got other people paying his bills. He's broke. He's been broke. And when she was going to try and get the divorce, she filed for the divorce. He was trying to make it to where he could get alimony from her. Why would he go after her for alimony and just not go after her to have her cut out? Because the dude was broke. He was so broke, he was trying to squeeze money out of her because he's so broke when it comes to that. So then when she's got all of this information, because she must have had quite a bit for the FBI to open up an investigation into the church's financials a week after she passed. And they come out and announce it to the general public. They already started working on it before they announced it to the general public. So I wouldn't be surprised if they started investigating the next day. And so when it's the church's financials, she's trying to get the divorce. He's going to lose half of what he has or whatever was written in that new agreement that he forced her to sign. And he was already broke. The dude spazzed out. That's why I feel like the financials have something to do with this taking place. And so when it comes to any of this evidence that has to do with this, I don't think we'll see it for quite a long time until we find out whatever agency's investigation is done, and then maybe they might come out through the Freedom of Information. But it's probably not going to be a while. All we have is statements based on eyewitnesses and real footage and actually being there and, you know, kind of like looking at the evidence without the evidence being there, placing the evidence in these places so then we can try and figure out how it makes sense and how it doesn't. It would be nice to see, but we do have
what we're good at is theorizing.
As far as placement where she was found in the water, how far away was that from the bank?
Oh, let me see if they
Let's see.
mention it.
It was just right here, so maybe 10 feet. 5-10 feet.
So her body was found over here where I just showed you guys.
So here, let me take you back
But her
here.
belongings
So right there.
supposedly, and
Oh, hold on. And this is going to show you,
water
like you
was all the
said,
way up.
The water is different.
the where the belongings. So
So
here's.
So it said she was
on
submerged in the river bedside. I don't know if that makes
came
any
through the
tree limbs about.
So right, see that tree limb right there that's stuck in the water?
Yeah.
That's by where she was at. She was supposedly stuck.
Which tree limb?
The one that's laying there in the water.
Like a crossed?
Yeah. Yeah, we're playing Rob's video.
The water
It
level
says
would have been high.
Bank of river was muddy and
Yeah,
had
they
a brush with briars, if that makes any.
Yeah, they said the water was up to here, or that dark part of the trees. That's why I wish people would do the sideways, because you get such a better view instead of the up and down.
And then they said that you could see the top of her head.
No.
No?
Her foot.
Foot.
Her foot. When they bumped into the log, the fisherman bumped into the log. Okay? When he bumped into the log, that's when the foot started to, like, here's the water. That's when the foot went like this. So it's under the water. He bumps into the log, and then the foot goes like that. Like right. Because he said it looked like there was a little bit of air left in a bag if you try and push the bag underwater, and it has that little teeny bit of air that's at the bag, so it won't fully submerge. So that's why when he hit it, he said that it went like this, so it looked like a little teeny part of a bag that had a little bit of water. But that was his description of trying to explain like how much it actually came up to the surface and out of the surface. Not much.
It's weird to me that she would even be floating at all, like any type of buoyancy whatsoever. Like typically people are down in the muck. Like once you go in, especially no current, like in the pond or something, typically you're on the bottom. And that's my experience. Like I don't think that you would accidentally, unless it was like not that deep. But from what that looks like it would be as deep as what I'm used to as far as like a pond.
Mm-hmm.
Right, maybe a little deeper, if that's how deep it was whenever they found her. But typically, like when you're looking for someone that falls off the boat into a little pond, and then they're literally on the bottom, like in the muck.
Isn't that what happened to the Sunjet that went into the Everglades years ago? The entire jet was submerged.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I understand what he's saying.
Like for them to just come along willy nilly and be like, "Oh, there's something sticking up," unless she was hung up on that log. I don't know.
Oh, here's the thing. If you look at the report, it talks about the temperature of her body. She's not warm, but she's not cold, which leads me to, they say cool, which leads me to, and it's in April. So it leads me to think that it just happened. So this story of them finding her, I find to be very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
My personal opinion, the ones that found her are the ones that did it or involved.
I think
they're playing. They found her.
I think the ones that found her, their job was to collect.
Right.
Well, and
collect the stuff, so then other people can go through it. I don't think they were involved in the acts taking place. I think their role was to chill the hell back there until you hear something, and then we tell you to go come across it.
Rule out DNA because you're there, and then 2, water messes with DNA and all that. Like as far as
right.
What's up, Melissa?
And the gunpowder on the hands as well.
Yeah, It would all be. I don't know. I'm not you know what I mean. Not an investigator, but it would
Well, it
definitely.
would be conclusive
Yeah.
because it's in the water. If they were looking for anything on her hands because she was in the water.
Yeah. In my opinion.
I mean, and that's why, that's why I always thought she had a flash drive this whole time, and that's what they were trying to find. That's why there was a part of her purse that had a lock on it.
That would make sense.
Been saying that from the beginning. That's why I made that flash drive video so long ago. Because to me, it's like you got a little pouch. You look at the video that Court TV did when it was first announced that the FBI started the investigation a week after she passed. That friend is her best friend. That's the one that would also have the flash drive. Because if you're reaching out to your family and you're saying, if something happened to me, it had something to do with this weapon in this specific area, well, this is who had something to do with it. You're trying to collect documents and information that then you can pass on. And if you feel that you're in a situation where somebody might do this to hurt you, I've been in that position where I told people, if something happens like this, this is who had something to do with it. And if it had something to do with that kind of thing, I could see somebody giving their best friend, the only one that they can trust, a flash drive with everything that they have on it. And they just keep exchange. Here, let me give you the newest flash drive while we're out here having coffee today. And then you give me my old one that I gave you before, so I can go back home and I can upload and then get the newest stuff put on this one and give you this one when we meet again for coffee. And we keep exchanging the flash drives. That way you always have the information that I always have in case something happens to me. You can go ahead and forward it to the other individuals because of the situation that I'm in. And I think that's why he's still to this day trying to find that flash drive or whatever
that's why he
device.
went to her apartment.
Because he does that. He went to her apartment. He's not giving stuff back. Like, there's a reason why. And that's why I feel like these fishermen stories, and we'll get into it probably the next, the part 2 when we get together. When it comes to these fishermen stories, there's a lot of inconsistencies. There's a weird, yeah, he told me that he knew I didn't have nothing to do with it. And then the other guy's like, yeah, he told me that he knew that I couldn't see the body. He understands and this and that. And it's like, dude, what are you all talking about? Like, you guys are giving each other alibis and the go ahead thumbs up for not being involved because you know each other, but you don't want to say each other's name.
Does anybody know if there was still a tracker on her car at this time?
She had trackers. She supposedly had trackers on her friend's vehicle that she was using because when he had her involuntarily committed the last time, he took her vehicle.
So that wasn't even her car?
It was her car, but in the state of South Carolina, everything belongs to the man.
Well, that's the white car. I'm sorry. The white Honda, it was Mica's, and that's technically marital property.
Right.
The dark colored Honda that she was driving, that's in question for the day that she was found, that was her, if I'm not mistaken,
her roommate, her godmother.
I don't think it's been said for certain that there was trackers on that car yet. That car is still in the possession of Robinson County, as far as I know.
Well, we know that there was on the white one because that was already been reported to the police. We're talking about the blue, the darker colored one that she drove to the park.
That's what
there was nothing confirmed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was nothing confirmed. There's just speculation that he did have a tracker on it, or one of the PIs had a tracker put on it because of all the craziness that was taking place when she went to Dick's pawn shop.
Right, but I think she's right. I would assume that the feds have the car as well, so they would know.
Oh, I don't know about the car, but when it comes to the tracker.
The thing I wanted to point out about that and the way that South Carolina law is written is he can, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but he can legally get away with the trackers on the white car because it was marital property,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can do what you want with your property. But if he did put a tracker on the other vehicle, I don't think that legally that
No,
he
because it's
could
not
be
No,
held
you couldn't do that.
for that.
No, yeah, because it's not. That's what I'm saying. When it's marital property, even though Micah went to the police and said he stole my car, they told her, "You guys are married."
Yeah, they couldn't do
Right.
anything about
Even
it.
though they were separated, even though they were going to be getting, they were separated, things were going downhill. She was doing the filing, even though it didn't matter because they're still married. That's why I'm saying it goes to the man. So he could, she could, and she did say that he stole her car. They wouldn't do nothing about it. So he can have a tracker on it all day. Unfortunately, because I don't know, in any other state, this is why it does need to be federal when it comes to these laws. Because in most states, if you're separated, even though you're still legally married, if you're separated and there's some foolery going on like that, you can actually have protection against it. South Carolina, no. When they got a law that you can literally beat your spouse on the steps of the courthouse on a Sunday, bro, there's some shit that's twisted.
Yeah.
When you can literally beat your spouse at the courthouse.
And
on
I
a
don't think
Sunday.
he would care. He's got the personality or personality disorder where he would put a tracker on a car that, as long as she's driving it,
Right, and think
he
that
looked at
there's
her as
no.
a possession.
Yeah.
Look at her as a person.
Yeah, he would, but I think that if he did put a tracker on that car, though, he would have had to be the one to do it. I don't think a PI would be, in my opinion, stupid enough to do that because it wasn't marital property and they could be held liable.
Yeah,
That's
I
if you
could
get
see him
caught.
doing it. I'm sure he would.
I could see a PI doing it for sure.
Depending on the
Because-
PI or the person, yeah.
Yeah, I could
Is there
see a PI
shadiness?
doing it.
And
Yeah,
then just plausible deniability. It's like, I didn't do that.
right. It could. I mean, for all we know, it could have been a buddy of his that he paid the certificate to be a PI. You know, like, hey, man, here, in case anything happens, you're already a certified PI. Here we go. Here we go.
Because a lot of these trackers, they actually put them inside of a magnetized box so that you could just kind of walk past the car and put it right under the undercarriage, boom, and you just
Apple
pass right
tags.
by it.
Their tags.
Yeah, when them Apple tags came out, you can go to the beginning of my shows when I started warning everybody about these Apple tags because, you got the zip ties on the door handles, you got you got the chalk marks on the tires, and you got the Apple tags, and they usually take place at malls and huge parking lots. And if anybody notice it, look, you got things on your phone. You go to the emergency section on your phone in your settings. Most people have tracker scanners on their phones.
Mhm.
You can literally be at your car, open up the settings on your phone, click on the emergency section, and then scan for trackers. And you can walk around your whole car and use your phone to scan for trackers.
Mm.
Zip ties, marks on your tires. Be careful. Because if you see any of those things, there's probably somebody sitting just a couple yards away that's watching you, waiting to come at you.
And don't touch them either.
But literally, you can check your phones, guys, and look it up. Like, if whatever model you have, just look it up. Do a Google search, your phone model, and how to scan for trackers. And I guarantee you, most phones these days, my phone has it. I'm sure yours does, because mine ain't the newest and greatest thing. So if mine has it, I'm pretty sure yours does. And I suggest everybody to do it. I've been scanning for trackers on my vehicle since, like we were going to Hendersonville. And it's easy for people to do. So I could definitely see whoever, either him or he was having somebody, but I could definitely see him having somebody slap a tracker on there because, like, she was a possession to him. When he's making her get a tattoo ring, he's making her get, the name right here when it, right by the left rib cage, making her get a tattoo because he said because she wanted everybody to know when she was at the gym or swimming that they were married, that she was married to me. No, bro, you wanted to tag her because you wanted people to know that she was married to you.
Right. Absolutely.
Possessions. It's a possession thing. When you can sit there and be jealous like that, with her just trying to live her own life without even anybody else, and you're sitting there banging somebody else for over a year, and you're getting that mad at her for just not even being with you. It's a possession thing. Because why you even mad, bro? If you're out there banging somebody else for over a year, what are you upset about? What are you upset about? Why are you jealous?
Well, it's a double standard. It's okay for him to do it. It's not okay for her to do it. It's a double standard.
No. All right. So he's going to show where the casings, the weapon, the bag, and all that. So this is why when I say the family said the bag was way past where she was at, according to if the fisherman came across the bag, how did he not see her? Go ahead, Trey.
This was everything that I'm wanting to know, and just location of everything, where it was at exactly.
Sorry, go ahead again.
Do you not hear me?
No, it was cutting out on my end.
No, I was just saying, as far as like the location of her, the casings, the firearm, and then her belongings. That's the information that I've really been wanting to get.
Yeah, it's all right here.
So her body was found over here where I just showed you guys, but her belongings were found over here.
Way over here.
Incredible.
So right here, where he's standing, this is where supposedly her bag with her, phone and her sunglasses was here. But her body was over there where I just showed you guys where the memorial is.
Way down there.
And there was no current right there.
Look at the water.
It's probably, how many feet away is that? I would say that's an easy 150, 115.
That's far. That's really far. Actually,
over 100 feet. It's over there.
No current, stagnant water.
How was her stuff here, and her body all the way over there, over 100 feet away, on those logs over there?
Even on the recoveries that we've done where people drown, it's like, even in current, a lot of times wherever they went in at, they're like right there. Like if you search fast enough.
Yeah, and this was only
that,
an
and that's
hour.
current.
I mean, when you're talking to
no current, that doesn't make
standing still water, stagnant water.
Yeah.
You'd have some variation, right? Like a little bit of a distance, but nothing crazy, especially no movement. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right.
And
thing
then
is that. Go ahead, CJ.
No, go ahead, man.
What I'm wondering is, where he pointed to where her body was, is that further into the inlet or is that towards the river?
No, the bag is past. So when they're getting into the trail, they get to where her body was found first. Then they walk further down. So this is them.
It's further up the inlet then, right?
I don't know what the inlet is, bro. All I know is the bag is past where.
Because it appears that the water is. it appears that the water goes in and out in the same area out of that spot.
Well, where he came in, it comes in and then comes this way. So he would have came around like this. So the bag. Okay,
So from the river, what's first,
like
the bag or her?
like here's this, the bag. So see this right here. That's where he came in. Okay.
Okay.
Dang it. Hold on. Sorry, this is.
Third-
All right, here. Let me play it.
Four-wheeler or a small vehicle could get through here easy.
So you'll see. They'll show you where
Okay,
the
now,
boat
a
comes
few
in.
minutes down there,
It
separates
comes this
yet
way.
again.
Then her body
even
goes
smaller
to the
trail.
other way. So this is where they're going to show you
You
where
know
the
what
boat comes in. So see that right there? That's where the boat comes through. Okay?
Okay, so the
That's where the
boat's
boat
most
comes through. The
likely
bag
coming
is
from
right
the
over.
river.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bill. So the boat comes through right here. Go ahead, man. Sorry. I think there's a delay.
It probably is. I'm on my cell phone, so the boat is coming most likely from the river up into the slough.
There we go.
Okay. So see this right here, dude? So
Yeah.
here's the lake. Okay. See this part right here? You're coming
Yeah.
up into this area back here. Now, there's
And
a
the
part right
river
here
is-
that you can also go to, but it all depends on the water level. So you got a part that goes in here, and then you also have a part that comes around and comes up to here too. But it's all
So,
right back
do we-
here.
This came to mind. Do we know if there's a dam anywhere near there?
I know
don't
upriver
think
there's
so.
like a park, but I don't see no dam.
don't think
Downriver,
there's a
I don't
dam.
know.
So, because I was thinking if there was a dam, when the dam is open, the water would go more up in there. And when the dam closes, the water would drain out. The theory.
Well, that's typically what
Yeah.
happens in those situations. I don't see a dam
I don't
anywhere.
I don't think there is, because I know way up there it almost turns into like a creek. I don't know exactly how far up, but way up there. Like, I know there's a town called Lumber or something.
Yeah, Lumberton.
Yeah, it almost turns into like a creek. But then there's like a
So-
bunch of branches.
So-
Yeah, you keep
branch
going
offs.
north, and yeah, it's just Lumber River.
So
it
for
comes
that
around.
area to get 2 or 3 more feet of water, it would have to be by rainwater or something pushing the water up. Right? Am I thinking that right, Trey?
Like runoff and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. It would.
Like runoff and rain would make it go
Right.
up.
Yeah.
But I don't know how
That's-
much.
But that's quite a bit amount of rain.
What I was
to
saying is like
go.
there's from the water markings on those trees, a really big difference.
It's
in depth.
huge, yeah. That's like
Right.
3-4 feet. It looks like.
Right.
Difference.
So it would have to be raining or something to push the water up that direction for her to body to go that direction at that point. If there
I see
is
what you're
some
saying,
kind
Busby.
of a current, you know what I mean?
It's like pushing it up in there is what you're saying, like from the river.
Right. There had
I
to be
kinda
a
see what-
current to be able to push her up that way,
I see what you're saying.
unless she was placed in there and then the belongings were placed further down.
Well, then there would have to be a current in the water for that particular time period,
I'd have to see what
Right.
it was like whenever the water was that high.
right?
Which,
Because Maybe when the water is that high, there is some kind of current. But
I know what you're saying, though.
when I was there was never any movement to any of that water, no matter how
High it
raised.
was.
Yeah.
Well, the weather leading up to that date in that area was sunny that whole week. There was no rain.
So
Yeah,
I
that
didn't.
how was the
makes
water even
absolutely
that high?
no sense. It
So,
it doesn't make sense then.
CJ, you went up there with them, right? Because I did not make it
No.
to that.
No.
So I've
I
heard
did. I
two.
went on my own.
Oh, okay. So, oh yeah, that's right. I remember. So I've heard two different things. I've heard somebody say that the water was completely stagnant, and then I heard somebody tell us that it does move a little bit. So when you were there, you're saying it was completely stagnant and didn't move at all, correct?
No, I got video of all the different times I was there, because that's one of the things when I first got there and I experienced back there was that the water didn't move. And when you look at the evidence, you would think that there's some kind of a decent current. And so every time that I did go up there, I made sure to show everybody the water and how it didn't move, because I really wanted people to understand this scenario doesn't make sense. It never moved. There's only one time when there was current, and this is the video right here. This is the only video that shows any kind of current in that water. And when you're looking at it from the observation deck, do you see a lot of current in that water too?
And it's
This
not like
is
there's a
the
lot of
only-
boat
But
traffic
just a
pushing them.
little.
This is the only current.
Stop right there.
There's a little
You'll
bit
see
right there in that spot. That's
Yeah,
it.
that one spot's the only spot I've seen current. That's
And that
in
might be
more of an
fish.
open.
And that might be a
That
pool of fish right there.
that could be, but that's more in the open.
In the channel ish.
Yeah, where there would be a lot of current going
What
on.
they would call
So
it open.
there's no dam in the Lumber River, but the Lumber River flows through Lumberton, a highly developed urban area. The river crosses South Carolina border near Fair Bluff. Just past the border, the Lumber River joins the Little PD River, which follows to the PD River and drains to the Wainia Bay. And that's it.
So then there must be a bunch of creeks that river then, in that area.
Yeah, it looked like there's
For
a
the
bunch of
water to get up,
branches, like branch offs.
for the water to get that high.
Really? You know what I'm saying? When you look at this video of this this TikTok video, it's like how did or no, that's my video. Hold on, sorry. One second. Hold on. Why did it stop the screen share? When it comes to this video, let me get to the part here where you can see the trees.
Her body was right there.
Wow.
Hold on 1 second. So I'm trying to pause it here.
Okay, so this is the location where her body was found.
Let me go back a little bit.
That way. And now they're saying that there's the water that was here is no longer here. All right, so now instead of going this way, now she would have known to turn this way. Look at that. Stuff's not even marked, guys. Now, even this one, a four-wheeler or a small vehicle could get through here easy.
All of the
Okay, now a few minutes down there, it separates yet again, and there's even a smaller trail.
So I'm gonna mute that, and then we'll get to that part. Michael says a lot of that water rivers here
Drain to the ocean.
drain to the ocean.
Yeah, somebody in the comments brought up a
Renee.
good point about Johnny Jacobs. The one thing I will say about that has never added up for me about his statement, a lot of it was never added up for me, But as many times as he has changed his story, the one thing that he has stayed consistent on is how many gunshots he heard. And he said he only heard one. And that is the only thing that he has not changed about his story. So I'm not understanding how there was so many casings found.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to add up.
So here's the photo of the tree. Oh,
Well, here's where the information is coming from. USGS.
there we go.
I'll send it to CJ.
Did they get the casing out of the tree?
Well, I don't think so. The family's the one that stated. I don't think the investigators investigated the tree. The family is the one that stated that there was a gunshot in one of the trees. That's why they marked it, because they wanted to know, or if they, whenever they're going back, they wanted to go back to it, and I assume they marked it for the investigators. Just like we would if we're out there and we've come across something, we're going to mark it a certain way or whatever.
I just think it would be pointless
wondering-
since she was around firearms, like say to make sure the gun was going to work. That would just be. I'd be interested to see what angle and positioning from how that bullet went into the tree from the ground, how that would have to add up as far as. Yeah.
Right, the angle of it, and I also would like to see if they dug that projectile out of the tree and then matched up any striations or anything.
We
I
could
don't think so.
If you knew where the tree was, and you could, I don't want to say halfway figure out what angle that dislodged into the tree, you could roughly figure out where someone would have to be standing.
Right.
What I was getting at.
Yeah, based off of the bullet and
the
and the entrance to the tree, and or how the bullet is fastened inside there. That would be something. Because I still have to make more trips to Lumber River State Park. I'm not done doing my stuff there. I'm going to be doing a lot more when I go back. I'm going to be doing a lot more on the ground, getting back into this kind of part of the work that I'm doing, just because I've been documenting everything so much when it comes to the protest and making sure that there was no way that the truth was not able to be reported. But I do have some interviews of people that I got to talk to when I get back. There's a couple people that I need to sit down with, and then I am going to start to go back to get more into the on-location investigations with everything, from the court hearing and stuff like that. So
No.
That's one of the things I'm going to look at when I go back out there.
I left for Trey in the private chat the water data.usgs.gov about Lumber River. It says nothing about going into the ocean. And it says how long it is, the depth, everything that you need to know about that river.
Okay. Thank you. I'll save that and that way I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
CJ, when you go out there and you find that, if you find that tree and you find the location where the bullet went into it, bring a straw with you and you'll be able to find the angle it went into the tree.
Yeah. Well, I don't have, I would have to get one. I would just use a pen or something, or a stylus.
Yeah.
My stylus is pretty thin enough. And that's the thing. When I'm there, it's one of those situations where you don't have cell service. There's no way I could even go live. There's no way I could even barely make a phone call out there.
So did Rob pre-record that?
Yeah, that's all you would have to pre-record it, because I don't know how anybody could get a signal out there. I had my T-Mobile.
Problematic. That's the other problematic thing, that she made that phone call supposedly from
crystal
there,
clear,
but the cell service is so crappy.
Oh, it's horrible. You can't, when I was trying to place a call, I literally had to go to the parking lot to try and place the call, and then literally I was walking around until the person was like, okay, I can hear you now. And I was like, okay. And then I would stop and I would try and it literally took me like 20 minutes just to make a call. And I don't know how many times I dialed out. I don't know how many times we got disconnected. It is so spotty. And that's, like I said, as soon as I pulled in and you see the sign, Lumber River State Park, literally, you can watch my first live when I was going on location. You can literally go watch it and you can see how my internet connection in the stream cuts out right after I'm driving by that sign. As soon as you're driving by that sign, it's gone. Like your connection is gone. So any of this stuff, any of the footage that I've taken, it's all recorded, no live, nothing. And that's one of the reasons why it's so dangerous out there too, is because literally you don't have, nobody's even going to see you on Live 360.
Wow.
Because you can't get a connection.
Wow.
So if something does happen, nobody's going to know your location.
If I'm not mistaken, it's even listed on the website for Lumber River State Park that their service, you don't have no cell service out there, and that they need to add a cell tower.
They should,
Indeed.
because it's especially for females. If they're telling everybody you should never come there alone. Yeah, I know, Crystal. She took my video. It's like I said earlier. There's people on TikTok that will steal my shit and then post it as their own. She was one of them. Like, she found the cement bags. Okay, I have the real footage where I'm sitting there walking and oh shoot, what is this? You can see me walking the whole way from the parking lot. We're going here. We're going here. We're probably a good hour into the search. And then I come across these things. Yeah, somebody took screenshots from my live. You can compare them just like Loki did. They took video and screenshots of my live, and then they were charging people on TikTok a fee for them to come watch the live stream that they copied from my channel, which I had already put out before they made their video, and they made money off of that. And put it out there like they put it out there like they went out there and searched when they took a copy of my video, made people pay for the live stream to watch their search and how they came across cement bags.
Oh my God.
It's TikTok, yo. Like, that's TikTok. Yeah, I heard about that when I came across those bags. It was like 2 days, 3 days later. And all of a sudden, this person's claiming that because they came out with the screenshots and posted them from my shit. And then they came out a couple days later and said, if you guys want to watch me search and watch me find and come across it. And what they did is they took my video and then talked over it to make it seem like they were out there doing the searching. They were the ones holding the camera. And the voice of me talking was like part of their crew or something.
And friggin' incredible.
And they charged, mine wasn't even members only, you know, and they were charging people on TikTok like $3 or something like that for them to watch it. And you just saw one of the trolls. Did you know that this person had the video and they were out there in the same spot as you, CJ? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Saying, because I know you're a troll. It is what it is, people. Like, you know, it is what it is. When you're trying to be about community, you're trying to help share the message. You know, the one out of maybe 2 or 3 videos I've ever watermarked, the last one with JP Zoom, the one I watermarked before that was a long time ago. I don't even barely watermark it because it's about community. But when it came to that video and JP spazzing, I was like, yo, this is the worst anybody's seen. I gotta watermark this. It's just the way it is with that one. But when it comes to these videos of searching, why? It's about knowledge and community and trying to solve answers, not grab it because it doesn't have a watermark and then claim that.
Well, we kind of vocal watermarked the 911 call because we knew that was going to go viral, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, is if TikTok you can watermark stuff.
Yeah, you can watermark it on TikTok, but that's what I'm saying. I've been, there's no reason to be sorry, people. Like, as soon as I started my YouTube channel, people are copying. I've been coming out with stuff the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time I've been doing this show for 2 years. I've been coming out with freezes and bombs. And there is people that come here and take the stuff and run off like their own. I mean, hell, there's some popular Idaho forest streamer out there that's talking about how the knife sheath could it have been one of the victims. This is something nobody talks about. And it's like, bro, have you not seen this video I made like a year and a half ago about saying why and showing the reasons why? It's like all of these different things. People will just cut, and
Right.
if you worry about it, it's just going to consume you, and you're not going to be able to be as effective as you are when it comes to this, because you'll be focusing on that. So
Right.
you know what I mean? It is what it is. It is
Right.
what it's just part of that day and age where people don't have any ethics when it comes to journalism, and they don't, there's karma's a mother. If you go about it the right way, you do the right thing, you never have to worry about nothing. If you do stuff like that, well, one day it's going to come back to you in whatever form that is, and that's for you to decide and have
It's
to do.
lazy journalism.
Right. That's up to you. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of lazy journalists that will just piggyback or take somebody else's stuff and come out. I mean, even the 911 call, and
Yeah.
I was talking about it with somebody earlier today, and I was saying, as soon as we had that video, that live stream where we first put it out there, all of a sudden on TikTok, before our show was done, somebody took screenshots of the live that we were doing that night and then was posting it on TikTok like they found out information and they uncovered this, and this was their amazing discovery, and we weren't even done with our show yet, and it had already started taking place. Yes, it is what it is. It is gross, but you can't let it consume you.
You gotta,
Their day will come.
you gotta
Their
love
day
the
will come.
trolls.
Yeah, their day will
People
come.
know the truth.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's play the rest of this. This will show, and here's the link. I'll share it with you again. I'll give it to you in back chat, Trey.
All right.
And also I'll give it to you guys again in the community. That way you can save this. And when we get into the next episode, I'll put all this stuff in the back chat for you, Trey, so you can kind of save everything, and then you can have it for later just to kind of look into it as we go into each of these episodes. I would like to do this once a week where we all get together and we have like a multi-part series exploring the case together. And then kind of progress to get to different parts of it, because I think it's going to be a good thing. It's not only going to help anybody that's coming into the case late, they get like a crash course as well with the conversation and different expertise, different viewpoints. And then at the same time, when it comes to the new faces and the new ideas, we might get new theories too that we might have never thought of before. And then we mix that together with what we've already thought, and we might be able to make it even make more sense.
Just keeping everything open.
Right. All right. So here's the rest of this one, and then we'll get to the next one here.
Just showed you guys, but her belongings were found over here.
It's a great video. Shout out Rob. Appreciate you, Millie, Joy, and Rob.
So right here, where he's standing, this is where supposedly her bag with her, phone and her sunglasses was here, but her body was over there where I just showed you guys where the memorial is. And there was no current right there. It's probably, how many feet away is that?
I'd say that's an easy
150, 115?
Yeah.
Okay. So over 100 feet, over there.
No current, stagnant water.
How was her stuff here and her body all the way over there, over 100 feet away on those logs over there? Oh, again, her body was down in there. There's multiple getaway. I mean, right here, this right there, you can get out. And if you go left and then right, There's a huge dirt road that goes all the way up to Boardman, North Carolina, right there.
There you go.
So it would be easy for somebody to take off. There's 4 random concrete bags.
Okay, those are the bags that we came across. The let's see, when was this taken?
Yeah, when is that dated?
6/24. I came across. Let me go to my photos here.
That's almost a month later.
Because it's on the live stream. I did a live stream. It was when did I find those bags? It was the first week of June. So it was a good 2 or 3 weeks before they came across those.
Right, and what would be the reason for 4?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember the live stream that I was on because I was walking by. And it was one of these things where, I'm walking by and the peripheral, it like my mind, I'm sitting there walking by and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And then I turn back around because it takes a second to register from the peripheral because my eyes are always, looking around constantly.
Right.
And as I came across it, I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. There was some bags there. So we turned around and started looking. Let me see. Let me go back to my live here because it was. What date was it? Let's see. Exploring spots of interest. So let's see here. Okay, so it had to be. Was it this one? Let's see. Maybe it was this one right here. No, that's 18. Hold on. That's not it. Oh, it made me start over here. Crap. I hate when it does that. Let's see. Exploring different spots. Was it this one?
What I'd like to know is, are you the first party to go out there after her death? Do you know if anybody like JLR or anybody that went?
No, he did. He went out there.
Was it beforehand?
Didn't he, you guys? I thought JLR went out there like right after.
Did he also come across those bags? Did he mention it?
I don't remember anybody mentioning coming across those bags. Let's see. So let's see. That's not it. Oh, I'm trying to think of the date. Why does it bring me to the top every time? Now I'm losing my place trying to search because it's taking me to the top every time. Where in the hell? Let me just go to my photos.
Because I'm going to look through his videos here.
Yeah, it's alive on location. Because I got close-ups of the bags too. So here's one of them. Let's see here. But they're not the right date because I took screenshots of these from the video after on a later date. Let's see here. So here's like one of the photos. I'll kind of share as I go through. So there's one of them. Yeah, if anybody knows, let me know what the date was because I literally show like we were out there. I'm kind of showing like I was showing the area where you could see the observation deck and then another entrance or the slough or whatever. That's when I was walking back from looking at the spot. And as I'm walking back, I see a little bit of something in the corner of my eye. I walk a few feet by and then my mind's like, wait a minute, you just saw something, dude, turn around. Then I turn around and I started looking at it. I'm like, what the heck? We started checking the integrity of the bags. Now, this picture was taken a week or two after I came across them the first time. Let me see. There's... So here's some more pictures. All right. So here's these. This is from the first time I was there. So this is what they look like the first time. Okay, so here's the bags. Let me change us on here. All right. So here's what the bags looked like the first time. I was walking by, and that's where they were just kind of sitting in the woods. And that's how they were sitting. The bags, there wasn't any holes in them. There was barely any weathering to them. I mean, you can see. There's no holes on them or nothing. And usually, if they're sitting out in the rain, you knock on it and it's got some there was no stiffness to it. It was like they had only been laying there for a couple days and there was no rain on them, which didn't make sense either. But they were definitely weathered enough to where you could tell they had been out there for a few weeks because of the natural paper fibers that tear away on the bag from natural weathering. And so you can tell like the fibers of the paper, where it had some of this. So it was obvious they were sitting there for a few weeks, but they weren't like stiff or hard and they didn't have any holes in it.
It's strange that the park services didn't pick those up if they noticed them.
Yeah, this is by where the spot that I found them. So right here, you go to the right and then you go up the hill. If I had the live, I could show you guys. I'll have to look for it, but June 10th? Okay, that sounds about right. It was like, unfortunately, YouTube just says 1 month, 1 month, 1 month.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's June 10th. I'll just guess. Let me see. I'll click on this one. Let's see. So that's June 4th. So let's see. So
I think I passed.
oh my gosh, where is it? Okay, I lost my place now. Shoot. Okay, was it? Maybe it's this one right here. June 9th. Dang it! Now I'm going to get lost again. Frickin' YouTube, man. Why don't you go back to where I was at when I clicked on it? Okay, now... Okay, so it had to be... I don't see June 10th. Are you sure it was June 10th? Because I don't see a June 10th exploring.
I don't even see where he...
you know what I mean? I guess unless it's this one. No. Okay. Thank you for... There is no...
That photo... Sorry.
No, go ahead, man. There's a delay.
Okay, I have it. And it's 2 months ago for JLR, so it doesn't give a date. Let me see if I can find the date.
I was just going to say that photo right there, there's no way a boat down, tree in the water. Unless the water is a lot higher.
No, it doesn't say.
You can get a canoe past that maybe, but not a boat.
Let's see. On the road, on location. Okay, this is it right here, I think. It was June 9th, not June 10th. All right, let me see here. So here's the protest.
Oh, his says May 6th.
Let's see. I'm at the protest. Okay. No, I couldn't have been live, though. I took video of it. Oh, hold on. So let me go to June 9th, because I had to have taken video of it. There's no way I could have went live. So here, it's actual video. So let me go. June 10th. That's right, because I couldn't go live there. June 10th. Let me see. June 5th, 20th. Let's see. Where's June 10th? Still to go through. Okay. Let's see. Mica Miller. GoPro. I believe it was GoPro. Yeah, it had to be GoPro. I don't have it separated. Hold on.
Yeah, CJ, he's there May 6th, but he doesn't mention it or see it at all.
You didn't see anything? That's the 16th. Maybe it was. Let's see. 6/9. Okay, here we go. Is this it? Okay. Let me see. So 6. Now I gotta find it. Let's see. Still to go through S23. Okay, now I have to find it through StreamYard here. So present. Okay, video. Still to go through S23, 6/9, and this right here, I believe, is what it is. We'll see. There we go. So right there's the 3 signs. Okay. I always refer to you guys. So this should be us going back to that spot. So let me see here. Okay, so this is us. Now, this is right where you guys saw the picture. This is where I'm going to be walking to on this video. This is the video where we come across that. I appreciate you, Ann. Thank you for hanging out tonight.
Thank you, guys. I'm really
Thank
sorry,
you,
but I got to duck out early.
No, it's okay.
Take care, everyone. It was nice meeting you, Trey.
Good to meet you too.
And take care, everyone. See you
We'll
tomorrow.
see you later, Ann.
All right, bye, Hen.
Yeah, thank you, Ann. And thank you for hanging out earlier today, too. So this is walking back there. Just look at the foliage. Now, as we're walking back there, I'm going to show you here. Let me scoot it up. So this is where the area that you saw that picture. So I'm walking through here. You don't see any bags. You don't see any bags. Now let me go up here. Is this where I found it? No. Okay, so this is another part showing standing water. There's no movement. It's muck. It's just sitting there. All right. Standing water. Now you can literally zoom in and see the observation deck that's straight ahead. So what I'll do is I'll take my camera. I'm going to come up here a little bit. I'm going to take my camera and then I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the observation deck. So that's where I'm at. You're not seeing, there's no bat houses around here. There's the other thing about the cement bags is there was no kind of construction or anything that was being developed. See, you can see the observation deck right there. There was nothing that was being developed. There was nothing that was being carved out, stakes in the ground, nothing to show that anything was in the process of being built. So to me, it's weird because when you're bringing bags out there, why would you bring cement bags to then just leave them? Why would you bring cement bags to then just leave them in the ground?
You wouldn't.
You think there'd
In
be
my
other stuff
opinion.
to, if you're gonna
Right,
have
there
a
would be
project
something.
or something.
There'd be something. And so this is kind of looking around. Again, you can see how the water, nice and calm. There's no movement over here either.
There's that tree.
And that's just that little part that comes in. Now, when you see the fisherman's interview, he's showing this part right here. And you can see the water is just sitting there. And this is close to where the lake is right there, just 10 feet, and you're already seeing the lake right there. And that's how little the water movement is there. So now we're walking back.
I can't picture her doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how do you know that this goes back to this too, you know? Something about this
Yeah, it's
log.
like she would have had to try to figure that out. How do I get over there? Because when I first came, the very first time I came, it was a little tricky to figure out how to get to this.
Yeah. It's all tricky back there.
But it's actually pretty quick.
It is. It was a lot easier than what I thought,
But
too.
this is a perfect place off the beaten path to be dead and nobody find you for a while.
Yeah. So why would you call to have somebody find you if you're off the beaten path?
And your stuff ain't with you.
Right. Especially the gun, because you think if it was right here,
Well,
the gun would be right.
If her body's right here.
Yeah, I found him, Jennifer. This is the video that I'm showing. He can claim that he found him, but this shows you right here. I actually found him. This is the footage when it took place. So that's what I'm saying. People will claim stuff that doesn't even
Why
exist.
is the gun over off to where the trail is?
And it is really easy to walk through here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why wasn't it stuff?
Man, I thought this would be a lot more dense. I can't wait to show people this. If you want a copy of this, I'll give you a copy. See? It's my copy.
This isn't. It's not dense, but it's nasty in here.
Yeah.
You know,
Watch, I'm the one that finds them.
Open spot, and the why it's open. You see all the deer tracks?
Yep.
They've stompled it all down.
Yep. Oh my lord.
Yeah, I go this way. Stay over this way.
Jeez.
Just walk lightly. There you go.
You can see all the fresh snake holes too.
Yeah.
Looking like turds.
Yeah. But that's it, right there, and we're pretty much getting back on the trail.
Yep. And it's pretty easy. I'm surprised. When I'm looking from up above, I'm thinking thick.
Yeah.
Like this is all you're gonna see, you know, like.
I mean, it is like that in
or
here.
like this.
It is like that.
It's gonna be nothing but that, you know.
This is like a little deer run right here.
Yeah.
And it opened it up.
Yeah. This is why I like being on location for you guys. I can show you guys. It may look one way on a Google or a photo, but when you're actually there and you're hearing it and you're feeling it and you're seeing it and you're breathing it and you're tasting it, it can bring on a whole completely different viewpoint.
So,
man, same spot.
She's over there, and the gun's over here somewhere.
Right.
How's that happen?
Bags of cement, concrete. Weird.
Right.
Ain't that fucking weird, man? Why is there 4 bags?
Well, no, it ain't weird because they build bat houses here. You know what I mean?
Bat houses?
Wait a minute, that is kind of weird.
Dude, 4 bags of fucking
Wait a minute,
concrete.
those ain't been there long either. The paper's still on. Why would you have that here?
See, I came across them. I'm sitting there walking by. I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute. What? I can't wait to show. Hold on a minute. What? And again, why would they? What is out there that is being built that would need cement?
It's not dense, but it's nasty in here.
Yeah.
You know, this little part, it's like a little open spot. And the why it's open, you see all the deer tracks?
Yep.
They've stompled it all down.
Yep.
Yeah, I go this way. Stay over this way. A little firmer. Just walk lightly. There you go.
can see all the fresh snake holes too.
Yeah.
Looking like turds.
Yeah. But that's it, right there, and we're pretty much getting back on the trail.
Yep. And it's a lot. It's pretty easy.
It's
I'm surprised. When I'm looking from up above, I'm thinking thick.
Yeah.
Like this is all you're gonna see.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I mean, it is like that.
Or like this.
It is like that.
It's gonna be nothing but that.
Yeah.
You know?
This is like a little deer run right here.
Yeah.
And it opened it up because they packed it all down. But that's
Oh my gosh. Melissa, man, you're watching Jennifer, you're watching the frickin' video. I banned your ass because I'm tired of seeing you type the same stuff about how this person had the video, and I'm done with the troll stuff. Later, you're already seeing the damn video of when they were discovered. Like, I don't know why you have to keep typing it. So obviously it's trollish. See you later, Jennifer. Thank you for the few days you were here. Same spot.
She's over there.
My lord.
The gun's over here somewhere.
You got to put the foot like this and then like this to walk. You know what I'm saying? You got to. Weird. Ain't that fucking weird, man? Why is there 4 bags?
Well, no, it ain't weird because they build the bat houses here. You know what I mean?
Bat houses?
Wait a minute, that is kind of weird.
Dude, 4 bags of fucking
Wait a minute,
concrete.
those ain't been there long either. The paper's still on them. Why would you have that here?
Right.
How much concrete do you need to build a bat house?
Next to the fucking spot.
That would be. I don't know anything about bat houses, but it'd be a good question. Plus, what other tools do you need?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, there was nothing around there. He's like, no, bat houses. And I'm sitting there going, bro, what the hell around here is ready for cement? There's no holes dug. There's nothing pegged out. There's no spray
Nothing
paint
set up.
You know, like on the ground. There's no, like, nothing.
There's no bricks.
And the other thing is there's nothing else around there. So you're not walking to an area and go, oh, there's something. And then you walk another 50 feet. Oh, there's something. There's nothing. Like, no reasons whatsoever for you to even think that there would be 4 bags of cement. And when I come across 4 bags, I'm like, 4 bags, 4 limbs. What the hell? That's what came to my mind. I appreciate it, Kylie. I know she's been trolling hard, but I always give people 150, and then once it gets to a certain point where the sheepness is just like, I'm sorry, it stinks. We need to just let you go out the door and go poo on somebody else's carpet. You know what I mean? Because I don't like to smell shit on carpet. I'm sure other people don't like to smell shit on carpet. So if you shit on the carpet, we just, you know. If you can't get potty trained, then we're just gonna like ask you to go to another house. Okay?
I don't deal with the nonsense anymore when it comes to that. I'm just like,
I don't either.
Gone. I can't.
Gone.
Too much.
My gosh, just quit shitting on the carpet, man. It ain't that hard. You know what I mean? When you gotta go to the bathroom, just go to the bathroom. You know, come back. It's all good. We can hang out. We can have fun. We can enjoy each other, but it's when you're like pissing and shitting on my carpet, that's when I got to say, you're just going to have to go. Okay? You're just going to have to go.
Why is that here? Good. No kidding.
I just glanced over and I'm like, well, what the fuck is concrete? So we just walked through that area right there. Is it hard? No. Well, it was not. They look pretty damn new. They don't. It was like not.
They're not that old.
No.
No, I mean, look the paper on it. That would be all disintegrated.
Right.
You know, that all
faded.
All it takes is one rain thing that'll turn hard.
Look, it's not hard at all.
Faded.
Yeah.
One rain would make these hard, so the paper's still good. Why do you need bags of concrete?
Right off right there too. 30 feet. Whoa. 30 feet, and you're getting to where she was at.
Yeah, why would you to weigh the body down? Maybe? They didn't want her to be found.
Got some sinus issues there.
I don't know.
You're good. I thought it was on the video.
4 bags too. Huh. There's 4 limbs.
It was on the video. That wasn't me.
I mean, they do build bat houses in here. That's from something. But why would you?
I don't know, man.
But this is in nowhere land. Why would you put 4 bags of concrete there?
Right.
They ain't been here that long.
Trust me, you guys. I have plenty of footage. I haven't even uploaded 10% of it. There's so much I have to go through. That's why I'm doing shows where I go through all my footage so you guys can see it, even stuff I'm not posting. But that stuff's members only. TJ, that one is members only, okay? Just so you know.
Wow. Now something. That is something to report on. Why is there?
So, and then this is the walk one going back. Did let them know. Did forward that information to the authorities. Nothing was done with it. They were still there. Oh, somebody's having some audio issues there. Hello. There
I
we
think
go.
that's Melissa.
Sorry, somebody called me, and it seems like every time somebody calls me, I can't hear you guys, so I have to refresh, and it kicks me out, and I have to come back in. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's okay. I lost my train of thought there, but basically, I couldn't find anything. The 3 times that I've been there, I didn't see any reason why there'd be cement bags. I'm gonna be going back a few more times. I still have more work to do there and some other spots amongst a couple people that I'm gonna be talking to specifically when I go back. So it's a trail. You can see the trail really when you're going to these different areas. It's like, how do you even know? Because they literally split and branch off and go to all these different directions. And let me see here. Let me get back to. Let me see here. Oh, it sounds like we got more storms here. I can hear hail hitting the house. Hold on.
Oh, great.
And let me see here. Yeah, they didn't do anything with it because the bags were still there. The bags were still there, and I'm sure they're probably still there, honestly, because I think somebody went back 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and they were still there. So I don't think they did anything with them. I know nobody touched them. They just went and took pictures and sent them to me saying that they were still there, that nothing had been done with them. But I mean, let's be honest, like I don't think they would take those seriously, right? I mean, I sent them the pictures of the barcodes because I did get pictures of the barcodes, the brand, so that way they had all of the information that they could have found out where the cement bags came from, who purchased them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was all
Right.
sent. So really, you're probably not going to get any evidentiary value off of those things other than the information that the photos already took. I don't know. I
Right.
doubt they could come there and dust it for fingerprints. You know what I mean? I doubt it would even exist with all the weathering that's taken place, especially with all the storms and stuff, in between that time period.
And even
But
though all the time
barcodes
that's
are the
been
big thing.
passed, yeah, the barcodes are huge, but the time that's passed, who knows who all's touched those bags? No.
Huh? Sorry, you were cutting
Who
out a
all
little bit.
know? Who knows who all has touched those bags by now if they try to do fingerprint analysis of any kind?
Well, I'm saying, like, because it was called in right after that.
Right.
Right after the video that I took. So that was 6/9. Right after that video, because I had already we had already got photos and I had the video. to show. And so the barcodes beyond the video shows the location. You know, it shows you where they were located based off of the video of where I'm standing, where I'm turning around. You know, it's pretty easy to figure out and pinpoint the location based off the video. The barcodes is what is going to be the most evidentiary value when it comes to those, because the barcodes are going to tell you what store sold it, or what
Digital footprint.
stores, yeah, what stores it was shipped to. Then it can go to, you know, dates. It's just like a recall. That's how they come up with telling people, you know, if there's like a recall for an item or something, they know that these stores and, you know, this one, and they can kind of narrow it down so that they don't have to like tell everybody, hey, guess what, don't eat our baby food because it's got salmonella in it. They're going to pinpoint it down to a specific area and then let those people know. So they could do the same thing with the barcodes. They can narrow it down to a specific area store and then, you know, figure out who did what.
They could potentially narrow it down to what facility made that bag of concrete too. So
I never looked it up. I just forwarded the pictures. We were gonna kind of look into it at one time, but there's so much work that I'm doing that it was like one of those things where it's like, well, I already forwarded it off to the investigators, or I should say the other people. And then at that point, it's like, well, I'm going to get into this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And if something comes, something comes. If not, you know what I mean? I did send it out to other people if they, I did send it out to other people if they did want to dig into it, just to see. But I don't think that I ever heard back from anybody, when it came to like a certain store or anything. It's just one of those things where, I mean, what are you going to do if somebody that, what if Jim Bob bought them at the building supply store 20 miles down the street? Well, okay, that's Jimbo. What's Jimbo's connection to the cement bags? Who says Jimbo didn't just take them out there to take them out there? It doesn't mean that there was any connection to the crime. It doesn't mean that there's any connection to the events that took place. It could be a rabbit hole. You know what I mean? That's why it's like I went ahead and forwarded it out to other people. If they came up with something that was worth value, then we would dig into it and we would expose whatever it is. But I never heard anything back, so and I never heard about them after that either. So I'm just assuming it wasn't anything.
Yeah, the only way it would be any kind of material object that was of any interest at all is if it came back that JP bought them. It would be very interesting.
Well, if he did, I'm sure somebody would have said, "Hey, JP bought them." So maybe, you know, like, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I'll put them out there again if anybody is interested in, you know, if anybody's interested in taking a look, you're more than welcome. There's too many other things that I'm gonna worry about than barcodes on the cement bag.
It's a heck of a process to even trace it back to who bought it anyways. You got to go through video, everything else. Timestamps.
I mean, who knows what it was for? I have no idea, but
Too
that
bad.
is interesting. Yeah.
I was going to say, too bad that they didn't leave their cement bags when they cemented that fencing. I would have been able to compare the brands.
Well, I'm wondering if somebody moved them bags, because if you look at my video, This is crazy. Look, see my video? I just noticed this when I flip back to this other video. I'm like, they're in different spots. So see these bags right here. This is how I found them. Okay? Look at this. Where did it go? Look at how these look on this one. They're spread out. It's whoa.
Yeah,
There's
noticed
3 of
that.
them. There's not 4.
Is that just the light in the?
No, yeah, this is the light back here.
Yeah, so there's one missing.
Yeah, there's one missing. Wait, hold on. Did it just hold on? Let me rewind it. Maybe it's out of the camera view.
Maybe.
But they look like they're
Easy
in
for
different
somebody to
spots.
take off. Just 4 random
4 random.
concrete bags.
Okay, so there's 2 of them sitting next to each other. One of them's hidden by this bush. These were moved.
Is
So
I
you got
touched them.
1, 2, 3, and these 2 right here are right next to each other. Then there's this one and this one. You look at my video.
Whose video?
Whoa.
Like who took that?
This is mine from when I went there. This is my footage.
Right. The closer together ones is yours. But whose video is the previous one?
Rob and Millie.
And
This is not
so you
no.
took
They're not
this-
previous. Mine was first. They took theirs 2.5 weeks after mine.
Right, because you took yours the day you went out with he who should not be named.
Right.
Okay.
6/9. They took theirs 6/24.
Whoa.
Yeah. I took mine 6/9. Theirs is on 6/24.
Huh.
Look. 6/24.
Yeah.
Mine was on 6/9. So somebody between that period messed with those bags, y'all.
That's crazy.
Here, I'll blow this up. It's pretty obvious somebody messed with those bags because this
Messed
is
with them and didn't throw them out.
yo.
Yeah, that's
how they were
weird.
from. And they're spread out too. Look, it's almost okay. Hold on. Let me look at this one. Let me look at the one that's flipped up because the other ones are flipped over. There's only one that's face up on my footage. Now let me go back here.
And when you found them, were they already solidified?
No, they had powder. They were
Huh.
powder. That's why I was playing the video to show everybody how I came across them. These 2 are so there's still one flipped up right side. I see 2 of them flipped over like the other ones, and then I can't tell with this one over here. The tree's blocking it. So let me look at the trees here. So there's a tree on the left side of the one that shows the face up. Let me go back to here. Let me rewind this a little bit.
Concrete. Weird.
Somebody moved
Ain't that fucking weird, man?
Somebody moved the hell out of those bags. Okay, so let me see here. Where's the okay, so there's a tree right next to okay, so let me zoom in. Okay, let me zoom in here. So, okay, so I see the tree next to the one that's flipped up. So my angle is to the right. So if Rob and me were standing next to each other, he's standing to the left of me. Okay. Let me go back to their video. So he's standing to the left of me. So I would be to the right of him. So basically the bag that is face up was not moved whatsoever. Okay. Let me go back to this one. The bag that's faced up was not moved whatsoever. Let's see. So that means the one on the right, the one on the left, they were moved and spread out left and right. They were pushed out of the way. The one that's hidden behind the bush is the one that's on the bottom, face down, closest to us on the left. That one was actually, it almost looks like it was pushed way over to the side. All of the bags were moved except for the one that's face up. So when you're looking at this, This bag was scooted over a little bit because it was closer to the one face up. The one to the left was more down and close to the one that's face up. Now that one's pushed over to the left and up. And then the one that's hidden is like 4 bag lengths away from where it was at before. So somebody really messed with those cement bags. This isn't.
It sure did.
Oh, thank you, Nana. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for hopping in. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in. Please hit the like if you haven't. I have everybody's description and their channel links in the description. So please go sub up. We're going to be making this a multi-part series where we're exploring the case. Nana, I'm having other content creators hop up with me during these episodes. I know that you're always on panels, so if you'd like to hop up on the next one, let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one. But that is kind of odd how somebody moved the hell out of those bags.
Yeah, it's like, why move them?
Why?
Whenever they were face up and face down, so you could get all the information off of them without flipping them around. Or
Right, you didn't have to move them to take the photos to get all the information. You're exactly right, man. So why would somebody move them? It makes absolutely no sense. I don't know. I don't understand that. Okay, so now at that point they were rained on and hard. So from the 9th, they were stiff powder. You could literally push and feel like a cushion from the dust. Now they're hard and stiff.
All right, so here's the observation deck, Lumber River State Park. And
That's weird.
Where we just came from is over back in there on the.
Yeah. And we already showed that video of the observation deck there with the widescreen. Basically this right here.
The park rangers have any knowledge of the concrete bags?
Do they have what?
Like, do they know? Like, do the park rangers have any knowledge of the concrete bags being out there?
Yeah, we told them and forwarded the barcodes and the photos and the video.
No, just asking, did they know if they were out there? Like, did they know that they were there?
Oh, I don't know. I let them know that there were cement bags out there. I didn't ask them if they put them out there themselves. I just
so
let
they
them
didn't
know
say
that.
anything. Yeah, they didn't say anything like, yeah, we know they're there.
I'd assume they didn't know.
And when and the gentleman that I'm with, he mentions bat houses. I went there again after this time, and I specifically went there on a mission to look for bat houses. I did.
0.
And I didn't find any. Because I'm like, I couldn't get the whole cement bags. I'm like, no, I need to go back out there. I need to see if there's freaking bat houses, because I didn't see anything that was being developed or started or any of that. And I'm just like, no, I need to see if there's really bat, because I kept hearing, after that person mentioned bat houses, then people in the comments, it's for bat houses. It's for bat houses. Okay. Well, I guess I need to go see if there's bat houses. There ain't no bat houses. There ain't none. There's nothing that would make you go, that's why there's 4 cement bags there, man. Nothing.
Well, right. And then even if it was for bat houses, why would they leave it? I mean, we live in the South. It rains at the drop of a hat. So why would they leave?
Right.
Just leave them chilling there, like with the chance of water rising, because we know it does rise occasionally. I don't know how it gets fed, but we know it rises sometimes. The water could rise, it would solidify it, it could rain, anything. So why would they just leave them chilling there if their intention was to make bat houses?
Right, especially with the economy, the cost of building supplies. That's wasted money right there. If you just go to leave them out there to get rained on, it's a waste of money.
A hard dew would make those things harden up.
Right.
I've done it before.
Where you accidentally leave it out there?
Yep.
Yeah, so that would just be irresponsible and stupid.
Yeah, they ain't cheap either.
Right.
No, and your boss isn't going to be cool with you leaving 4 bags of cement that you bought. You know, if your boss is going to be like, "What the hell? That's coming out of your check, son."
Yeah. Where's the material?
That's coming out of your check.
Exactly. That's why I'm shocked that they were still there weeks later. I mean, not only because someone would try to save it for something else, but even if they were bad, picking up the trash. The park facilities people are for.
Right. It's
And
so
this is a restricted area, so it's supposed to be restricted only to employees too. So
right.
that's also strange.
It was almost like somebody drove back there with an ATV, because there's two there. At that point, when I went there, this was before there was a crap ton of people. That's probably why the cement bags were the way that they were. You know, they were spread out, obviously moved. I didn't even notice it until we saw the video from Rob, how much they moved, which is concerning. Because why would you even move them?
Unless it's just kids playing around.
I'm not moving.
I don't know
that heavy of bags playing around. That's just me. I don't know.
And it's supposed to be a restricted area, so
kids wouldn't even be back there normally. I don't know. It's just really there's just a lot of odd stuff with all of this. It's just all really odd. Let me get back to. Let me see here. I'm going to get back to this timeline thing. We'll watch this again real quick just to kind of go through it again. And then I don't want to keep you guys crazy long because I already know we're at like 3.5, and I know some have to get off a little earlier. So what I'll do is we'll go ahead and watch this timeline video again. And I would love to make this. Yes, prayers, Nana. And that's great news. Appreciate that. And prayers and fingers crossed. I would like to make this like a weekly thing where maybe we can all get together the same night each week and then start to go through different parts of the case, discuss different parts of evidence, different parts of the timeline, and just have like a weekly show where we can all get together and just kind of go through this whole thing together and see if there's new, fresh, maybe things we haven't thought about before. We mix my puzzle piece and your puzzle piece, and who knows, maybe they link up together and all of a sudden we see more, you know, of what maybe we haven't been able to before, just because it is all a puzzle piece. We all have different pieces. Some fit, some don't.
Yeah, I'm all for it. We all maybe align something.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's like, what is tonight, Thursday? If like Wednesday nights or Thursday nights, whatever night works best, you know, for you guys. Probably Wednesdays being in the middle of the week would work best, but you know, just with the delay and stuff. But I don't know. You guys let me know if Wednesday night. I think Wednesday night would be a really good because it's in the middle.
Wednesdays would be good.
Middle of the week. You know, if I'm traveling, it's not a Friday, Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. It's a Wednesday. I usually don't ever travel on a Wednesday, so I think Wednesday would be a great night if you guys would want to. And then, you know, at the same time, if there's like a Saturday night or something and you guys want to get together, we can go ahead and knock another episode out and then still continue the Wednesday night thing if you guys want, because there's a lot to it. And
there's a lot to try to put together, or make sense of.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, do any of you have any ballistics knowledge?
I don't.
No. I just have knowledge of shooting.
I'd like to see if we can maybe study that is knowledgeable about that, because I don't know much, but the distance from where she was found and where the shell casings were, to me, sounds suspicious.
Oh
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah, that 100% is just
Oh
to me
yeah.
suspicious.
I thought maybe I was just tripping, but I've been
No,
thinking
like
about it a lot, and I'm like,
No.
the
no.
footage, the distance between her, the firearm, and the shell casings, and the placement of everything just
Right.
doesn't add up. That's why I was saying that the round that's in the tree would be a good starting point as far as figuring out positioning, at least for that shot that was put off.
Yeah.
You could get a rough angle of where a person would have had to been standing.
Well,
Okay.
and I'll be back out there too. That's one of the things when I'm going back on this next leg. And that's why I already talked to Melissa right after the show earlier. There's some interviews that I've been waiting for a long time, and I'm gonna try and make sure that those are gonna come first, regardless of whatever else is going on out there during this trip. So if I'm not somewhere, or if I'm not live for a day or whatever, just there's certain things that I have to do to make sure that I'm protected, and also that the people that I'm talking to are protected as well. And so it ain't always going to be a, hey, guess what, guys, I'm going to do this today or
Right.
whatever. It's going to be
Right.
when the time comes, you'll understand why I wasn't around this day, or maybe I didn't go live on this night or something like that. It's going to be one of those things where these are very important conversations. And the last thing that I want is for anybody to get hurt, or anybody be in a situation where their safety can be compromised. You know who we're dealing with, so you can imagine the things that I need to, and he ain't happy with me no more. He broke peaches before, but you saw how he kept looking at me when I was recording him. He glancing and a little upset stuff. And Kylie says she's got like 55 plus screenshots of him giving me the bird. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure he did. He couldn't have been happy with me zooming in on him. He probably was like, "That's that son of a that I
Oh, you
gave that
didn't
peach
see it?
to." Huh? I don't
You
know.
didn't
People
see
have
him
been
give
saying
you the
they've been.
bird?
Now, I mean,
With his eyes.
you could.
Oh, I mean,
There's a few
literally
times
give you.
did he? I mean, I'm sure
Oh
he
yeah.
did, man. I'm sure he did. I was the only person standing on that side. Everybody was in the middle between the two pillars. There was nobody else he was looking at behind me or to the back right of me. Period. There was nobody except for me standing there. And so, yeah, there was some stuff where it was like some subtle, I'm going to touch my face, but really, I'm giving you a kind of
Right.
gesture kind of thing.
That was his schizophrenia coming out.
Who knows? I don't know.
I think
if I recall, it's right towards the end of that video before everybody adjourns from that meeting.
Oh, right at the end where he's standing at the pillar getting ready to walk away.
Yeah, right around that area.
Oh, interesting. Huh? I'll have to look at. Well, maybe when we end the show, I'll just go to that ending part and we'll take a look at it, just so everybody can see if he really did give me the bird or not.
I was gonna say I need to watch it back, but I get a jump scare.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hopping up. Yeah, definitely anytime, just let me know. You're more than welcome. And be safe out there. And thank you for all that you do, Melissa.
No problem. I'm curious. I think he's comfortable. He took I think he thinks we're not gonna be there. I don't know why he would think that, because the city left the barricades up all week.
Yeah, that was kind of. I noticed that when I was sent. Contribution call out real quick, Carol. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate you. I remember, yeah, when I got those pictures this morning about the fence being removed, I noticed that the barricades were still up, and I was like, "That's weird. It's a Thursday, and they're still up. Normally, they're taken down a day after the protest."
Yeah,
So,
I haven't noticed them down at all this week, so I'm a little. Well, to be fair, I did file my permit Monday, so they knew well in advance that we were planning it. But normally they pick them up and then put them back out. But I haven't noticed them picked
so
up at all.
I think it's because one of the neighbors, the week before last, one of the neighbors was starting some traction with the locals and the newspapers, asking the city who's paying the overtime for these officers to be out there putting up and taking down barricades, because it was found out that JP was only paying for one, and the rest were being paid from the Myrtle Beach community. So that's when the neighbors started writing to the newspaper and started writing to the city, demanding to know who was paying these wages for Solid Rock to have barriers up there. And I bet it has something to do with that. That's probably why they left them, because they probably were like, well, we're getting called out for paying the officers overtime to do these things, so we'll just leave them up, and then we don't have to pay for anybody to do it. They'll probably just stay up there for a while until people don't show up anymore, because then they got to pay somebody to move them.
Yeah, but at the same time, how long is it going to take for the locals to start complaining about how ugly it looks?
I mean, I'm sure they already are. They were already they're when they talked to me last week, they were furious and they're fed up with JP because of that fence. When he started to try and build that fence and how he was going to build it all the way around, that's when the neighbors were like, "Yo, you're affecting our property values now. We're not having this anymore." Like he was running amok, doing whatever, but when they said when he started affecting our property values, that's when we had enough. We're not doing it no more. The stuff he's doing is affecting their investments, and I don't blame them. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna, but I have a feeling they're gonna leave them up until people don't show up anymore, and then they'll take them down.
I had one of our friendly neighbors that come by, and she told me she's selling. After all of this happened, and she realized how much corruption, she said she's done. She said she's gonna sell her place and move. So,
I mean, it's a good time. It's a good time to get rid of it right now. You get a decent chunk of change for it because the housing market is so bad. And when you're talking about that area, who doesn't want to move to that area? Because it's a nice area. But the time to buy is now too, y'all, because in about 3 or 4 years, when the economy's boosting again, your property value is going to be worth double. So buy a house now and watch. In 3 or 4 years, your property value is going to double, and you can cash in.
Right. All right, I'm gonna hop off, CJ. But when I get off, I'm gonna send you something that I want you to see. And if you can, let me know what your decision's gonna be about this weekend.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna be there no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there no matter what.
But your location, once you figure out how you're gonna make that happen.
Yeah, I have to figure out. Somebody's schedule.
Yeah, that's fine.
For a few days, and then after I figure that out, then that'll let me know what the most safe and effective time would be to make sure that I can get these conversations done. But it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be last minute kind of thing. What's up?
Okay. All right. I'll shoot you a text message in reference to that too, because I figured something out about that a little bit, and I want you to be aware of it.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all coming up and letting me come up.
Oh, no, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you,
and
Melissa.
Thanks for all you do, Melissa. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Melissa. It was good chatting with you.
Thank you. You too. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Thank you.
You too.
Be safe. All right. Here is that timeline video again. We'll go through this one more time. I'm going to go ahead and end it with that little part to see if JP really does flick me off at the end there. Busby, you said it's right at the end where he's kind of getting ready to leave. They're kind of like...
I think that's where it is.
All right.
I think that's where it is.
All right, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll check it out at the end. We'll see if we get the... And Trey, if you ain't watched that video of that zoomed that I put out last...
I seen the one where I think it's like the state's attorney or the prosecuting attorney and all that stuff.
Yeah, where he's...
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right. We'll check this out real quick. This is a timeline.
Sunday, October 8, 2023. Mica Miller and her husband, John Paul Miller, a pastor from Solid Rock Church, filed for divorce. They were married back in 2017. Mica's friend said she had led the women's ministry and worship team at the same church. Thursday, February 8, 2024. Mica's involuntarily hospitalized for 48 hours. Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Mica calls police and alleges her ex-husband stole her car while she was hospitalized. She tells the officer she has known her husband since she was 10 years old and that he, quote, groomed her, end quote, while she worked for him at Solid Rock Church until they were wed in 2017. John Paul tells the cops his wife suffers from, quote, episodes, end quote. Since the car is marital property, no charges were filed. Monday, March 11, 2024. 2 incidents are filed with authorities naming Mica as a victim. She calls the police after finding her tire slashed with a piece of metal. It was later identified as a tire deflation device available for purchase online. Mechanics then find a GPS device attached to her car. Wednesday, March 13, 2024. Someone at Solid Rock Church files a police report alleging Mica transferred donation funds from the church's Zelle and Cash App accounts to her personal account. Mica leaves her apartment in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, shortly after noon and heads to a pawn shop to buy a gun. 12:34 p.m. Mica leaves the pawn shop and travels on a highway, stopping at a gas station to buy gas and a drink. She heads toward North Carolina. 2:54 p.m. After about an hour and a half, Mica calls 911 from a park over the state line about 33 miles away from the gas station and says she plans to end her own life.
Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
3:03 p.m. Deputies with the sheriff's office head to Lumber River State Park, contact the park rangers, and begin a search within 30 minutes. Specialized units searching for Mica from the air are deployed. 3:50 p.m. Detectives are approached by someone fishing in the area who says they heard crying followed by a gunshot. They also found a bag a few feet from the water's edge with Mica's ID inside of it. 4:23 p.m. A kayaker in the area calls 911 to report a body in the water. A perimeter is created to secure the area for an investigation. Within the hour, the chief of detectives arrives and the medical examiner is called. 5:54 p.m. Crime scene investigation technician begins taking photos of the area, and they found Mica's car. Inside the car, investigators found a gun case in the passenger seat and ammunition in the center console. The receipt for the weapon and her gas station stop are found. 7:11 p.m. A gun is discovered in the water at the park. Its serial number matches the case found in Mica's car. Tuesday, May 2nd, 2024. John Paul Miller sits down with WPDE for an interview. During the interview, he mentioned some of the struggles he thought Mica had with mental health.
So over the years since we've been married, some people struggle with high blood pressure, some struggle with diabetes, or struggle with mental health. And whenever she stayed on her lithium, things were amazing. She'd come off sometimes and things would get a little unusual. Per her doctors, they told her even just recently they had written that she was homicidal or suicidal. And she had struggled with suicide before. And each time, helped her through it, took her to a doctor, and we got through it, and everything was fine. So this past time was still a shock, an incredible shock.
Sunday, May 5th, 2024. Friends and family rally outside Solid Rock Church. Some in Mica's family dispute the manner of death described by her estranged husband.
This has to be at least looked into deeply. There's got to be some accountability here because it's a tragic life was lost, and it's not just as simple as somebody had some mental issues.
A memorial service honoring her life followed the rally. Monday, May 6, 2024. The medical examiner releases Mica's cause of death. They conclude that she died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Mica's family meets with deputies about the investigation. John Paul asked the sheriff's office to meet with him in South Carolina. The investigation team said they did not plan to cross the state lines. Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. Public records requested by WPDE are released, detailing the events leading up to Mica's suicide.
And then that's a statement from his lawyer, right there. So that's just a little quick one, Trey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop the one that we were going to check out tonight. We'll check it out on the next episode, but it's a great breakdown from Hidden True Crime, the full story crash course. It's a great breakdown. I'll go ahead and put the link in there for you.
Thank you.
You can check it out. And then we will get into that on the next episode. So if I know Sunday night should be the next night if you guys wanted to do one before Wednesday. I think Sunday night would be the first night that I would be able to do a part 2 if you guys wanted to do one before Wednesday. If not, we can just go ahead and plan on Wednesdays. I think it'd be something great that we can get together, kind of go through different parts. We'll go through the Hidden True Crime one on the next one, and then I'd like to go in to the 911 call. We'll go into the 911 call, then do some of the fisherman stuff with the both, when it comes to the timeline, 911 call, fisherman stuff, and then everything after that we can kind of get into in later episodes is what I'm kind of imagining. So
I'm good with Sunday or whichever day.
Yeah, if you're good, Busby, I can go ahead and just start planning it
Yeah,
for
I'm good.
Sunday evening if you guys want to do a part 2. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to that video, and then I'll put it towards the end when JP was up there, so we can see if there is a middle finger or not. And then after that, we'll go ahead and end the show for the evening. I dropped everybody's links in chat to their channels. Please go sub up if you're not already. I want to say thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Busby. Thank you, Trey, for coming to hang out with us this evening.
Thanks for having us on. I've got a million things I want to try to put together.
Oh, yeah. All right, let me see here. And thank you all for your company and support, too. So is it after this, Busby, or is it still kind of... I mean, I know I could
I
see him
think
looking
it's
at me a few times.
I
Right
think it's
around there.
after this.
All right, so this is almost over. So this is like the last minute or so. And we'll see.
Shake his head.
Yeah, he shook his head.
Sorry, I've got some emergency equipment going by.
Oh, you're good. See, he just, it's like he it's like his eyes have to look at me and then he just has to look away just because
Yep, just
I'm
right.
standing out, man. I'm like, there's nobody on my side. I stood out like crazy.
Eyes don't lie.
No. I don't know. Do me a favor, you guys. Oh, I didn't see it. Do me a favor. Go to the video. It's on my video section. It should be.
before
Is it the
that, a
last
little
video
bit, I
that I
guess.
uploaded? Just drop in.
I
Just drop.
remember saying, "Did you see that? Did you see his hands?"
Well, I was gonna say.
So
I was gonna say. Here's the link, y'all. Drop timestamps of the middle fingers. Drop timestamps in the comment section of all the middle fingers, and then that way we can just click on each one from after this. All right, y'all. I want to say thank you all so much. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys' company. It means everything to me, your support. And I'd like to talk more in the background about some stuff here when it comes to the stuff that I'm going to be working on. I'll talk to you guys in the background about it. But thank you all. Appreciate you. We should be back tomorrow, weather permitting. I know we're supposed to have some issues tomorrow possibly as well. So as long as everything's good, we'll be doing that 911 call breakdown. And also I'll be getting into the rest of the family interviews, the press conference, and then the breakdown of the Zoom stuff as well. Thank you so much. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And please consider subscribing to our friends. If you didn't catch the links to their channels in chat, it is in the description. So just click on more and you'll see each one of theirs is listed. Please go sub up. Thank you all so much. Have a peaceful, positive evening. Please stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, bros.
Thank you.
Peace.
thank you, man.
your victim at the hospital?